Can you record it?
I don't know how Zoom works, like.
Hi, everyone. I'm just going to wait for a few more to join, so please bear with me. Thank you. Right, hello everyone, let's get started. So what we're going to do tonight, so this is our usual Wednesday Q&A Zoom call. So if some of you haven't been on this call before, I'm going to do the exact same process. Let's make sure you can all hear me first. Can you all hear me? Okay, give me a yes and I'll carry on. Yeah, okay, let's go. Right, what we'll do, so let me explain what we're going to do tonight. So I'm going to present for half an hour and then we're going to open up the mic. So I want to hear all of your lovely voices. I want to hear lots of your stories, lots of your questions, lots of your experiences. So let's have some fun at the end like we always do. Okay, so here goes. And so if you are here, you are here because you've had either a package or you have decided to have the bespoke service. So thank you all so much for supporting us. We are here to share everything. What we do like is we especially love this group. We love Wednesday's calls. It's another level. You're going to figure out everything that's in the notices, what to do with them, how to get those out, back to all the basic stuff, as well as all the you know, the intense kind of overwhelming notices that you've all received, and probably in a bit of a panic thinking, okay, so oh my life, where do I start? Don't worry too much. I'm going to go through the lot tonight. You will leave today feeling more empowered. You will feel like you're ready to get going and get them sorted. So what we will do, we'll record this call. We will send you the recording. We will send you the slides. We will also send you a completed notice so you know what needs to go where. We'll send you a tick box process and there will be links in there. So everything that's mentioned in tonight's call, you will receive tomorrow. Okay, so let's go. So this is what we're going to cover tonight. So we're going to go through everything that you need, the process, as always, the notice writing. We have to cover that again because there's a lot that we didn't cover in the free Zoom calls. We also go over what you need to do with your name, how to write it, how to put it through the stamp, how to write it on the notice, and so on. How to get the DUNS number and the registered address. How to deal with the debt collection agencies. So we're making sure that we're covering this in every single presentation that we're doing. So this is really important at the moment. They are going a little bit harder on us, but that's because they know that we're waking up. They know that they are getting a lot of challenges, which is brilliant. So they're trying to just step it up a bit. So we're going to go through a bit of that for you. We're going to explain exactly how to return to sender. We'll go over what to do with the stamps on every page. We'll go into the accepted for value in more detail. So this one, we had a few emails about this. So what we've done, we have a photograph of how we have done ours, and it's the exact same documentation that you have. And so I think it's the HMRC bill, part of the HMRC bill that I paid with a gyro. So you'll be able to see that. And then we'll explain exactly what to do at the post office. So if you have had any questions over the week since you've got your package, I hope you're going to put them in the chat tonight. If not, I hope you're going to speak up so we can answer all of your questions. So no going tonight without your questions answered. So this is what you need. Okay, so you're going to need lots of recorded delivery labels from the post office. You can get those for free. Okay, so they're the orange labels. I know some people like to send the special delivery, the silver labels, as well as the silver envelopes. But they're a little bit more expensive. So the recorded delivery labels, the orange ones, to send a letter about £2.35. If you are to send the silver envelopes or the special delivery, they're usually about £7, maybe a little bit more than that if you're going for the A4 silver envelopes. You're going to need lots of 1p stamps if you are doing this process. Okay, so if you can't get any 1p stamps from the post office, you can get 2p and 5p stamps. Okay, so if you were to get 100 1p stamps, that's going to cost you £1. Okay, so it's worth stocking up on those, especially if you're going to be sending out notices left, right and centre. You're going to need a red ink pad, and this is for your thumbprint. So your thumbprint will go on every single stamp on every page. You're going to need lots of blue ink pens. So the blue ink pens is for commercial. Okay, so yeah, people have mentioned gold pens and purple pens. You can use whatever you want, but we do recommend the blue ink pens. Okay. You're going to need access to a computer as well as access to a printer. So you don't necessarily need those. What you can do is visit a local library, or if you've got a friend or family member that can borrow you their computer and printer, there's always a way. So don't think you can't do all of this process without those things. You can, there's nothing stopping you. So this process, so we do go over this in all of the Zooms, but what we have to go through them again. There's more detail in here, so please bear with me. So your first notice that you're going to be sending is the conditional acceptance. Okay, so you are going to give them 28 days to respond. The minute you've sent your first notice, you are going to return every single post from them. So for example, if I've put Eon on notice, I've sent the first notice, a conditional acceptance, and they send me a letter. I can open it if I want to. I wouldn't normally, but that's because they are sending it to my home address, and I do not accept post to my home address. Don't forget I have a PO box. But if you haven't got a PO box, that's absolutely fine. But I can guarantee you that the name they have on that letter to you is either going to have Mr., Mrs., Miss, or capital letters. Okay, so that's going to be your legal fiction. So what you're going to do is return every letter from then on, from Eon, for example. So what I did, I returned every letter until I received a debt collection agency letter. Okay, not necessarily you're going to get those straight away from the debt collection agencies, but if you do, you need to get them on notice again. If you ignore the debt collection agencies or just start returning them, you may have a visit from a bailiff, and then they're going to visit 3 times. Okay, so if you was to put them on notice, very unlikely are they going to turn up. So I've never had a bailiff turn up who has been on notice. Okay, so I've had threats from debt collection agencies saying they're going to visit me within 14 days, put them on notice, returned the letters, and I had no one turn up. Okay, so as I did say, I have had one bailiff turn up before, and that was about a month ago, but they sent me no paperwork. I had no idea a bailiff was going to turn up. So he's done his 3 visits and now he's disappeared, as well as the debt. Okay, so the second notice that you're going to be sending is the opportunity to cure. Okay, so the opportunity to cure is exactly the same as the first notice, maybe without the fee schedule and maybe without the removal of implied rights of access. Keep in their questions because you're reminding them. So here are the questions that you've got to answer, and give them 14 more days. If you need to shorten that, you can actually give them 7 days. Okay, so it's only the first notice that we can't really play around with, but the last 2 can be changed if you need them to be. Okay, so your third notice that you're going to send is the notice of default. So you're going to give them 7 more days. The minute that you have them on default, you can stop paying completely. Now, what I'd do in the minute I have them on notice, I would pay maybe £5 a month. And that's only if they allow me to. So I didn't actually pay anything to Eon. I got them on notice and didn't pay a thing. So it's completely up to you. They say remain in honour by making a small payment. We do recommend doing that, but because I was practicing at the very beginning, I didn't really have much clue what I was doing. So I was just trying everything and anything. So I didn't pay them. I didn't pay the water. I did pay council tax. So I paid council tax for £5 for 3 months. And then the minute there was on default, I completely stopped. Don't pay any debt collection agencies, pay them nothing. Don't even contract with them in a way to make a payment plan. Do nothing like that. You literally send them. So with the bailiff package, you have debt collection agencies. So anything to do with an interloper, so whether they've sold the debt, whether they're a bailiff company and so on, you would use that notice out of that package. Okay, so they're all ready for you. All of these packages are there for you to just go and get ready. So what happened when I started, as I was getting debt collection agency letters, I didn't actually have any notices. So I literally was writing every notice as and when I needed it. And trust me, that is hard work, and you really don't want to have to be under pressure, been trying to get all of these notices out while you're challenging them, while you're trying to live your life and all of that at the same time. I mean, it was brilliant what I was doing, and it was great experience and great practice. But I wouldn't recommend everyone do that. It's not for everyone. I actually like to learn at a fast pace. So for me, it was an adventure. Quite liked every part of it. So what you're going to do is return every letter within 3 days. Okay, so even if it's gas, electricity, water companies, even the debt collection agencies, we are doing the same process with everything. We're not changing any process. So if you're dealing with debt collection agencies, you are doing the exact same process with that as you are doing with your gas and electricity, or if you're doing it with your car finance or mortgage or loans and credit cards. We are all following the same process. And this is what we try to do. We are not overcomplicating anything. Okay, so we are literally making this process so simple that you literally will not need to think about what you're doing. It's just the same thing. So first notice, sent, and then you return every single letter after that. Make sure you do a search on the letter on the back. So you will have return address. So yes, most of the time it will be a PO box. If you do a search in the search engine, most likely it will give you the address and who it is, whether it's Sainsbury's Bank, whether it's Santander or so on. Once you know who it is, then you can return it. What we are trying to look for when we're doing that is any hidden debt collection agency letters. Okay, so if there's some that are Marsden's or Moorcroft or so on, you want to make sure you get those on notice. Okay, so please do not ignore those ones. Don't just return those, because one day you might just wake up and have a clamp on your car. Not that it matters, because at the minute they've gone, you will be getting that clamp off, okay, as you will be going to work or you will be going for an emergency. You don't leave the clamp there for them to collect. You actually move the clamp and you know nothing about it, okay? So yeah, so you'll actually get the confidence and you'll be empowered to do. Who do they think they are to do that anyway? But we are literally, we are showing these jobs worth, that we're not standing for it anymore. We've had enough, we're done. If you have any text messages, please block and report. Okay, so how you do that? So for example, if you've had a message, you can forward that to 7726 and they'll reply saying what's the number. If you're not sure of the number, you can type in, for example, it might be Moorcroft. You type in Moorcroft and they go, thank you, we'll look into this, and we reported it as spam. So you are doing that for every single text message that you get. So even if it's gas, electricity and water that you're having, you are blocking everything. Okay. If you have any phone calls and you've done a search what that phone number is, also block those. If you have the occupier, this is usually a success. So I've had the occupier and they've left me alone. So I've had the occupier for my water and also for my gas and electricity. Okay, I've actually had some for the council tax now as well recently. What you're going to need with the occupier, if you are getting bailiffs and you are getting debt collection agency letters for the occupier, that might be a different story, because they may still come to your front door. Okay, so it might be worth putting them on notice, but do not use your name. So the process continued. You may then be bombarded with lots of emails. But this is the thing, the minute you start this process, so within the first 3 months, you are very likely going to be hounded. Okay, so they are going to try and do everything they can to get you to comply. And what I mean by everything they can, it's all an illusion. Don't forget, none of it is real. They're going to send you lots of letters, just letters. That's all they are. And they don't actually mean anything. So you're going to get lots of automated letters, lots of scary words on these letters. If you open them and read them, you might go into a panic. If you don't open them and you return them, then you'll never know what's going on. Okay. And what an amazing space to be in, because nothing actually happens either way. Do you want to torment yourself by allowing all that bad energy into your home and ruin your day or whatever? No, it's not helpful. You don't even need to read them. They don't actually mean anything. They'll say anything and everything. They'll use lots of trigger words to trigger fear. You know, all that conditioning, all the years worth of conditioning that we've had to go through. We are still unlearning. We are healing from their lots of brainwashing over the years. So don't worry too much about their letters. Okay. So even if you get 20 letters, not that you would, but if you were, you are going to return every single one. So 20 letters from Eon will be returned. RTS, return to sender. You are not going to open any letters. I know people that like to open them and have a look. I've never done that. Never really been interested in what they've had to say. Yes, we are asking them questions and we are asking for the DSAR, okay? But at the same time, we're asking them to send DSAR to us as a living man, living woman, not to the legal fiction. So if they're still sending lots of answers, and not all of them are they usually answered. So don't forget, if you're sending 34 questions, they may answer maybe 5 or 6. They've got to answer every single one. Okay, so don't worry too much thinking, oh, I've got to open it because of DSAR and so on. I know that someone recently has had a box full of lots of paperwork, lots of DSAR information, but again, it's not what we ask for, but they have a go. which is fine, but yeah, we would return everything. So with the emails, when you do get emails, you are going to respond with this. You are going to say, you have made an error. If you've received this communication in error, please inform the sender and immediately delete this message. I don't take service by email, only for family and friends, e-commerce sites, and will be adding this internet domain name to the junk mail filter, as I have no wish for further contact via this medium. This is a private address and I have no contract with you or your corporation. You do not have permission to store my data as per GDPR guidelines, and I will be requesting DSAR in writing, which you already have. Please remove all data off your records immediately. What you'll get with that usually, so you send that and they'll say, oh, we're so sorry. Please, no, please don't, like, please forgive us. Please don't take this personally and so on. You send it again. Okay, so each time they send an email, we just keep responding with this. So we are literally telling them to stop. Okay, don't worry too much about emails. Again, they mean nothing. Same with text messages, same with any letter without a wet ink signature. Don't worry about all this rubbish that they try and bombard you with. Okay, take no notice. So the notice writing. So if you have had a package, now you will be needing all of this information. So we've told you about all of this in the Zooms, but now we'll go into this in so much more detail. So the notice writing, I mean, there's not a lot that you need to do. You may need to add in a few paragraphs as well as a few sentences for your circumstances and what you need to do. But the majority of the content is there for you. What you're going to need to do, I think in some of them, there are lots of X's, or there's some names for you in red that you just need to change and so on. So always address the notices to the CEO. So the CEO is the Chief Executive Officer. If you don't have the CEO, send it to the CFO. And what you can do a search, just an internet search for the CEO. If you can't find it, you might have to search on the Companies House for the company. For example, if it's Severn Trent Water, you go on to Companies House search, put in Severn Trent Water, and you will have directors. Well, no, not always will you have directors. Sometimes they just have companies assigned, and there's no people in there whatsoever. So what you need to do, if there are directors in there, you need to search on every director to see which one is the CEO. So you'd, in another search, you'd put, if it's John Smith, so you'd put John Smith, Severn Trent Water, and it will tell you their role, whether they're on LinkedIn or I don't know, sometimes there's different sites that give you their emails and stuff, but then you'll find out more about who it is and what they do at that company. So you'll be able to find the CEO that way. So we've actually had a few emails about this. So you don't necessarily need a home address. It does make it more effective, but the registered address is where it has to go if you can't find the home address. It's more effective if you can send it to the home address. I've actually done that to Vanquis credit card. He did not like that at all. So the registered address is absolutely fine. So don't worry too much about the home address. What you're going to do on every notice is put a stamp on every page, and this is going to be the bottom right with the red thumbprint on top, and you're going to autograph through that stamp. And we're going to show you a photo actually in a few more slides, so you'll be able to see exactly the name and the date that has to go through there. With every notice that you send, you have to include a certificate of service. Okay, so what you're going to put on your certificate of service, which is going to be sent to them, is the date in which it's going to be sent. Do not change the date. For example, if you've got all of your paperwork ready and it's dated for today, but you're going to post it tomorrow, the certificate of service has to have tomorrow's date. It doesn't necessarily need to be the date of the notice. Today's date of the notice is fine, not the certificate of service. It has to match the date in which you're posting it. Okay, you're going to keep a certificate of service for yourself, and you're going to take the barcode off the recorded delivery, and it's a tiny little barcode, and I'll show you in a moment in the photograph. And the next day, once you've posted it, you're going to print off a track and trace proof of delivery, which is on the Royal Mail website, and we'll send you that link, so you will be able to do your searches. Okay, so in every notice, I don't know whether you've noticed, but it's in the top left-hand corner, there is a barcode that you need to add in. Okay, so make sure that you don't change that barcode. For example, what I mean by that, so when you go to the post office and they will say, would you like this to get there tomorrow before 1 p.m? If you say yes, they're going to add on another barcode. They're going to change the label. So what you need to say is, no, thank you. I need to keep that barcode, and can it just go first class? But we'll mention that later on as well. Everything we do on the notices is going to be on the right hand side because we are the creditors, and we say this over and over. So if you are if you're going to autograph your notice, when it says autograph by, make sure you're doing that on the right hand side. Don't do it in the middle, don't do it on the left, always on the right hand side. Okay, we are changing the relationship in these notices, and that's why they're so powerful. So once you have got your notices done, we are going to scan every page of the notice, okay, including the certificate of service and including the envelope. So please make sure you save that. And what I mean by scan, someone did actually find something in notes on the iPhone on the 3 dots. You can scan in there, or you can use Scannable. I know there's, you could take photos if you prefer to do it that way. As long as you have evidence, that is absolutely fine. So, as I said, yes, the next day, make sure you do your track and trace and it is being signed for. Don't worry too much if it hasn't been signed for. So, we have the evidence that it's gone. The minute it's gone, it's gone. Okay, if they've never signed for it, it doesn't matter. You still have the proof that you've sent it. You continue the process. So your first one, for example, hasn't been signed for, it doesn't matter. You continue sending the second and third. So I've had things that haven't been signed for. I mean, whether it's been the second or third, it doesn't matter at all. Okay, so we have all the evidence it went. Don't forget that Royal Mail are in with it. They're another corrupt corporation. So don't worry too much about that. They're protecting them. Yes, they are sending them back and so on. So don't worry too much about that. We just continue the process. Sometimes, I mean, if we were to resend everything, we'd be wasting a lot of time and energy, and it's not needed. So don't worry too much. In all the notices, what we tend to say is that this notice, this conditional acceptance was sent on the 24th of January, signed for on the 25th of January. If not, you would have the barcode, then you would say, this was sent on the 24th of January, and don't say signed for. Okay, so just leave it that you sent it, not signed for. Doesn't matter. We just prove that we sent it. Okay, so you print and attach to your certificate of service with the barcode the proof of delivery, which is off the Royal Mail website. Okay, so you're keeping that as evidence. If it says directed, sometimes they have directed to another office, that's absolutely fine. Print and attach to the back. If it says we've got it, so post office do this a lot, they say we've got it. That's absolutely fine too. Just print that off, put it to the back. Don't worry too much at all. Okay, you've done your job, you've done what you've needed to do, is send it. We just continue with our lives. Okay, so your name on the notices. So what you're going to do is sign your name through the stamp. So this is an example. So here we have colon Emma hyphen Louise colon Jones. And that is exactly how I'd write my name through the stamp. Okay, there's parts in the notices that it asks for the legal fiction. So what you're going to do, I think this is in the DSAR part of it, the data subject access request. So basically, we list every single legal fiction that they could use. So for example, it would be Emma Louise Jones, Emma L. Jones, E. L. Jones, E. Jones, Emma Jones. So you are literally listing every single way in which they could use your name. So if you've got a middle name, you're going to have to do that. If it's just Emma Jones, you just would have Emma Jones, E. Jones. Okay, so that'd be easy enough to do that. Right, at the very top, and there's a few others in the notices where it's Emma of the Jones family. So make sure you do colon space Emma of the Jones family. Okay, so that's how to put your name on the notices, but you will see more in the completed notice that you receive. So the majority of the notices have the same. For example, the removal of implied rights of access and the fee schedule, as well as some part of the cease and desist and so on. So you will be able to see in there the parts in which are automatically usually the same. So yeah, don't worry too much about it's a different completed notice, it doesn't matter. So the Duns number and registered address. So what you're going to have to do on the Dun & Bradstreet website is do a search. And so this is the Duns number lookup. So we'll send you this link. You will be able to have a little play around with it. Try and figure it out before you start. Make it so difficult, the Duns website, believe it or not. You wouldn't think so, but they do. It's actually a difficult one to use, so you have to get the name spot on. So if you've spelt it wrong, if you've missed something out, if you've missed the limited, for example, LTD, or it's not going to show usually. Okay, so for example, here I've put 7 Trent Water, and I've not put in the postcode, I've not put in the post town, I've just ticked I'm not a robot, and then I've gone to search now. So on the top right hand side, it's given me everything to do with 7 Trent Water. So what I tend to go for is always the parent company. Okay, so once I've found it on here, I normally do a quick search on the company's house to make sure they've got the correct company. So there we have 7 Trent Water Limited, and there we have the registered address. So that registered address is usually not on company's house. Okay, so what you're going to need to do is then select that. So at the bottom right here, you can see receiver Dun and Bradstreet number, and you've got the corporation name and the registered address, and you have the registration number. Now that registration number is not the DUNS number. What you're going to have to do is enter your name and email, and you're going to have to wait maybe 20 minutes to get the DUNS number. Okay, so don't be fooled there. You can't just have that information, it's not enough. Okay, so you're going to have to enter it for it to email you that DUNS number, and then you include the DUNS number in your notices. Okay, so we're proving that they are a corporation for profit. Okay, and that applies to police, water, billing companies, and so on. So the debt collection agencies. Okay, so as I said earlier on, if you receive a debt collection agency letter, please respond with a notice. I mean, unless you like to challenge them, if you want to challenge them, that's absolutely fine. We don't like to challenge them. Okay, I quite like getting them on notice. Yes, I needed the experience, and I did have the experience with the three visits that I had. So that was great experience. But at the same time, why have that? It's a lot of stress. And if they were to clamp your car, you're then going to have to cut it off or get it off in some way. You don't really want to have to deal with that. But anyway, it's up to you, whatever you want to do. But we would recommend getting them on notice. Okay, we wouldn't say to ignore them or return those letters. It's actually got a lot of people in a bit of a mess, and we can't deal with emergencies anymore. So we have said, if you are having a lot of problems with debt collection agencies, we can't take on those. This is why we're trying to give you everything before it gets to that point, so you can protect yourselves. Okay, so we've all got to take responsibility and accountability for what we are doing. Okay, so no one is going to save anyone. We've all got to save ourselves. And by doing that, these notices are really powerful, and they will protect you. Okay, so as I said, once you've sent your very first notice, you can return to sender every single letter. Okay, if you do open a letter by mistake, make sure you write open for fraud detection, sellotape it up, still put your 2 blue lines through and your label, and send it back. And what I mean by send it back, you put it in just a red post box as normal. I know that you can go to a post office now and you can get, I think it's proof of postage. They will give you a receipt for that. But what I tend to do is take a photo front and back of the envelope, and I just put it in the post box. Don't have to pay anything. Don't worry, you don't pay anything. You are literally just returning it. Okay, so if you are interested in know more about the debt collection agency package, we do have all of that. But don't forget, there are so many Telegram groups out there that are providing all this information. You can go and figure all this out for yourself. We're not saying what we've done is the only thing that's out there. It's not. There are so many different ways. So don't think that our way is the only way. We've just kind of simplified it, and we just want to share with you what's worked really well for us. And so, yeah, so there is lots of information out there. There's a bit of misinformation and a lot of distractions. And that's why we quite like to basically give people the option. So it's there if you're interested, just let us know. You can email us if you need to know more about that. So the return to sender. So what we have here is the 2 types of posts. So for example, on the left-hand side, I've got open letters. Okay, so the letters that I've opened, I put 2 blue lines through the labels, and I write opened for fraud detection. So this is what I do with all of my posts, actually. So I've opened that because I didn't know who it was from. On the right hand side, I knew exactly who that was from, which was my council tax, so I returned all of that. So with council tax, if it's a brown envelope, it's an old contract. If it's a white envelope, that's a new contract. But that made no difference to me. I still returned the lot. So I was getting brown and white, and they was all going back. Okay, so someone did actually ask me earlier on, so if you was to do a direct debit indemnity, do they come after you for the money? Well, I wouldn't know because I return everything. So you can actually open everything and you know, panic yourself, put the fear into yourself. It's not needed. Okay, so yeah, so just return the lot. It doesn't matter too much whether you owe them £6,000 or £1,000. They're still going to try and get you to comply. So you do return everything as well, everything with capital letters or Miss, Mrs. or Mr. So that's your legal fiction. But yeah, so if you have got labels, do that. If you haven't received your labels yet, you can either send us your address, we'll send you some labels out, or you can have the digital files. So just let us know those labels were in your package. So just, yeah, give us an email, either your address or the digital file. So here we have the stamps, and this is what we're going to do on every single page. So you put the stamp on the bottom right. So the stamps don't look like that anymore. They do have a barcode on the right-hand side. So what we tend to do is just fold the barcode over, and we just do exactly the same. So you're going to put in there your colon Emma hyphen Louise colon Jones. Okay, so you put the name through and you're going to put your thumbprint on top and you're going to date it. Okay, so you're going to do that on every single page. Make sure that you also include it on your last page. Okay, so you don't need it on your certificate of service. You don't need it anywhere else. Okay, make sure you autograph over the writing. So for example, not your last page, but your last but one, you are going to have autographed by. So it's usually the part of the letter that would normally have yours sincerely, and then you would sign. Okay, you are going to sign in blue ink on the right hand side, and you are going to go through the writing. Okay, don't ever sign anymore in a blank space. Okay, always make sure that you sign, but you are going over the writing. For example, I think it says representative to, if it was Emma Louise Jones in capitals or something like that. So the accepted for value. So here we have the accepted for value. And if I just zoom in. So on the left-hand side here, this is a giro slip. So what I have on the left-hand side, this is the front giro slip and this is the back. So this writing that we have put out and glued on here is everything that you will have in the gas, water and electricity package and in the loans and credit cards package. Okay, so usually you have giro slips for the gas, electricity, water, but you also have them for some credit cards as well. Okay, not for loans, but for credit cards, definitely. Okay, so what you're going to need to do is add in the name, the legal fiction, which they have on their letters. Okay, you're then going to keep all of this the same. You are going to cut it out and you are going to glue it on the front of the giro slip. You're going to have your national insurance number, which you are going to glue onto your reference number. You're then going to have a £1 stamp here, and you're going to have a 5p stamp on the front and a 5p stamp on the back. You're going to have the value and you're going to glue in the value. Okay, so you'll put that out and glue it in. You're then cutting out the part which was already written out for you, but you are going to add in your amount. You're going to add in the drawee, which is whoever you're paying. So for example, this was my HMRC. And I paid them this amount and another amount. I think it was just under £3,000, maybe 2,500. I can't remember actually. But what we did, we never heard from them since, and that was what, 15th of November 2021. So you're going to put in your address. You're going to have again your name there, which is what they call you. You're then going to sign here. You're going to date it, and you're going to have your account number, the date, the name, and then you're going to put your details here. So this is a stamp as normal. So you're going to do your name, date it, and your thumbprint there. Okay, and that's your accepted for value. Okay, so you can do that for anything that you have a gyro. So that's your front and that's your back there for you. So you're going to be able to, yeah, go ahead with that. So what to do at the post office? So we are going to always send post Royal Mail recorded delivery. So this is the orange label there. So you can see there what we have peeled off. So it's the, can you see the little part of the barcode here? Which I've peeled off and I've put on my certificate of service copy. So I keep that for my evidence and leave all that on the envelope. Okay. You'll always make sure that you send it first class. So what you're going to have to do is pay £2. It's about £2.30. It might be a little bit more than that, but no more than £2.50. So you're going to send that first class. And if they ask you if it, do you want it to get before tomorrow 1 p.m, you tell them no, because you need to keep this barcode. You need this barcode right here, because that is the barcode that is in your notices. Okay, and that's what we're serving them with. This is powerful. Okay, this is powerful, and so is the certificate of service. So please make sure you never send a notice out without the certificate of service. Okay. Okay, so if you are interested in the debt collection agency package, there's 3 notices: certificate of service, return to sender labels, and a follow Q&A Zoom call. Okay, so email us as normal if you need that. Okay, I know sometimes you have to just get them on notice. Please don't ignore them. Unless you don't mind a visit. So what we will be doing, we'll be doing so many more. I think next week we have council tax, can't remember the other one. Penalties and fines, is it? Yeah, I think it's council tax and penalties and fines next Monday and Tuesday. So please email us with the links for those 2. We will do so many more. People have been asking to do the Bear Trust and the promissory notes again. We might have to do that again for you. But what we wanted to do was to roll it all out again within a short amount of time, because everyone wants to just get going. And so when you have just 1 Zoom a week, it's not enough. So these 3 Zooms that we've done this week so far, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, has been brilliant. We hope they've been helpful for you. We hope that we've been able to help you in a little way. We know what you're doing is amazing, and we know that you're all doing amazing things and challenging everything and in your day-to-day lives, which is so inspiring. And we're so grateful that we have your support, basically. So if you have had the packages, we do one-to-one phone calls. So I know some of you like to do it yourself, but at the same time, sometimes you like to just ask a few questions. So we've got a lot of emails at the moment. We can't be responding to every single email from now on. It's getting a lot. I think we had admin reply to about 70 emails in one day. It's too much. So what we're going to have to do is answer all of your questions of a Wednesday. If you need more questions answered, then that's fine. You may need a one-to-one phone call. Okay. If you're feeling overwhelmed, don't worry too much. We are here for you. You're not left on your own. We're going to do it together. If you do feel like you need us to do it for you, we can do that. So please let us know. It's good for us to work with you. If you feel like you're not ready, but you are ready, you don't want the fear, you don't want the energy, you don't want all of that, we can take that on. So just let us know. And there we are. So there's our Telegram page. You should all be on there by now, I would have thought. Break Free UK. There's our email, breakfreeuk@protonmail.com. We've also got the breakfree_UK Instagram account now. So please follow us on there as well, if you have Instagram. But that is it. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to stop sharing my screen. I'm going to go into the chat and let's have a few questions. Let's answer the questions, and then what we'll do, we'll have a few of you talking over, if that's all right. Quite love to hear all of you talking. All right, where are we? Okay. I sent my certificate of service, but the following day, will it affect this? Don't worry, Deborah, but next time, make sure you date it correctly. I have a few questions about the certificate of service, and also notice it's probably easier to speak it than type, but can type it. No, you can all talk. No, this is brilliant. Get the questions in. I've heard many folks doing direct debit indemnities, company, whoever it is, taking the money straight back out of the bank. So they take it straight back out of the bank if you still have the direct debit set up. If you're taking the direct debit indemnity reclaim, you are going to need to cancel the direct debit first. Okay. If you are going to, if you're going to be doing this process, please cancel your direct debits. They can take whatever they want out of your bank, and you don't want that. And also bet many are doing the process. Once you notices, okay, you are in a much stronger position with your notices. Yeah, so it's either way, but it's more about cancelling the direct debit plan than anything. Go on, Joanna. Yep, get your questions in. Please, can you explain what's the significance of the stamp bottom right? Why not top right, and why? So this is the thing. We're not saying bottom right is the only way to do it. We've seen top right do it. We've seen back. We've seen what front. We've literally seen it every way. I don't think it matters too much as long as you keep on the right hand side, because it is we are the creditors. But don't forget, it's more so about the proving that you are a living woman or a living man. Yeah, as long as you do it on the right hand side with equity law, I think you're fine. Okay, stamp autograph top right. I thought of the Queen signing her oath, which may cite and banned by all above, hence doing anything above seems silly. Just wondering if the direction of signing is relevant. Yeah, so again, it's completely what feels right to you. This is the thing. So you're gonna don't forget, there's no right or wrong. I actually got everything wrong at the very beginning, but was still successful in everything that I did. So I don't think we need to overthink it too much. Oh, is it £2.35, Harry? Yeah, thought so. A Zoom on direct debit reclaims has been requested a lot. Maybe we could do a next one too. Yeah. I was late, so would need to catch up on this. That's okay, John. We'll send out the recording. 170. Oh, was it 170 one day? Oh, wow. Okay, I thought 70. Okay, how much are your phone call costs and what? Okay, so if you email us, we'll put that through to you. I think it's £50 for the 1 hour call. That's really interesting, Emma. Never heard anyone say that. How do you think about it? Direct debit, cancelling it first. Yeah, so so one of my good friends, so she's a police lady and she's awake. So she claimed all of her water bills back, and she claimed her gas and electricity, and because she didn't cancel her water bills, they took it all back. And so she called them again and got it back in. And then she cancelled the direct debit. And because her husband is a policeman, but he's not completely awake, slightly, but not a lot, he was in a bit of a panic and said, you've got to pay the water. So she did end up giving it back to them, to be honest. But I was like, why have you? So she took the £4,000, they had the £4,000 back, and then she took it again, and then she paid it back to them, which is funny. I am unsure about the gyro and stamps. I have 2 packages: gas, electricity, water, loans and credit cards. I didn't find any info of the gyro credit stamps and notifications. Okay, so Nick, so the it's called the accepted for value. So it's the accepted for value documentation. So there's going to be one A4 page. Could you explain the text on the bottom of each page? Okay, so is that to do with the estoppel and time sensitive and all of that? So basically everything that we usually put in there, for one, there would be a reference number usually, and whatever legal fiction they are using. Okay, so the estoppel is usually, it doesn't matter where it's landed in that office, basically time sensitive. It's all to do with, it doesn't matter what time you received it, doesn't matter what date you received it, it doesn't matter what desk it landed on, it all applies. So yeah, don't worry too much about the text, it's just protection again. Most of the things in the notices are all protection. Emma, for HMRC or anything you choose to pay, would you try a promissory note first or A for V, or you're literally practicing both and trying both things out randomly? So what I did at the very beginning, so last between July and November, I was sending both if I had a gyro. So I'd send the A for V, and then I'd send the promissory note at the same time. I'd send the two. But then I did send some A for V on their own, and then I did send promissory notes on their own. So I've done a bit of everything really. Can you explain what the information mean in the footer of the notices? Notice a true bill, reference number, and estoppel conditions. What info do I put in the footer? Okay, so you're going to put your reference number in there, which is usually the account number or their reference or something like that. And yeah, the estoppel conditions. So it's all about, yeah, it's all about the, as I said, just doesn't matter where it landed, what date, what time, whose desk, it doesn't matter, you're covered anyway. That's all it means. Yeah, A for V is accepted for value. Yeah. Yeah, so that's the estoppel explained. What reference do you use? So the reference is, as I just said, it's either their account number, it's the reference that they use on their letters. So for example, it's debt collection agency letters, you'll use the reference, what they use. So they might have client reference or so on. So you'd send both a promissory note and A for V each time. Not always. I think I did it with HMRC. There was only Vanquis that had gyros for. Water that was accepted for value. Never sent a promissory note for water. Maybe that's why they left you alone. Yeah, they've all left me alone, which is brilliant. They think you paid twice, exactly. So what do you put instead of the last X's at the bottom? Okay, so the X's are for what you're going to add in there. So the last part is going to be your legal fiction, Yasmin. So it's going to be your full legal fiction, what they use usually on the letters that they send to you. For example, it might be Mrs. Yasmin, whatever your last name is. And if it's all in capitals, you'd write it exactly how they put it across. Yeah. So yeah, so that's, so the estoppel, yes, so it is a legal term and it's everything to do with covering our backs. Okay, so it's all about, as again, it doesn't matter where it landed. So basically we're saying we've sent this, it doesn't matter whether it's taken 3 months for it to get to the CO, it doesn't matter if it's landed on in 3 different departments before it's got to the CO. That's what that means. Right, okay, so Marge, do you want to have a chat? You've put your arm up, your hand up, and say hello.
Yes, thank you. Hi.
Hello, you okay, Marge?
Yeah.
Good.
I'd rather have a chat than to type because I'm slow
So would
typing.
I.
So,
So would I. Go on, carry on.
have I been wasting my time today trying
Well-
to put a notice together and I've got the wrong one?
Well, which
Because
notice?
I've got this these enforcement people's letter. I've got 2 of them in one day actually. One from water and one from the council.
Okay.
And I thought the bailiff one was the one I'm supposed to be doing. I didn't realize that there was a separate one for debt collectors.
No, you've got the right one.
Oh, the bailiff one.
Yeah, you've got the bailiff one. That's the right. It's the same one. It's the same thing. So what you can use,
Oh,
the bailiff one. So you will send that to debt collection agencies. You will
yeah.
send that to solicitors, usually to the ones that they've sold the debts to. Um,
Mhm.
so yeah, you've got the correct one. Yeah,
All right, because Bristol and Soto.
yeah, yeah,
They're
yeah,
hard.
yeah, yeah. So they're terrible. Yeah,
They're hard to find as well. The details on the company house as well and all that, you know.
yeah. No, they make it difficult for us. So that's
And I think I found the CEO. I think I found him on LinkedIn, I think.
it's great, isn't it? I love it. I love it.
So yeah, and yeah, because I didn't realize this that I got. It had on it um a payment plan.
Oh, really? Oh, see
But
how
the thing is, Emma, right? Last year I sent them a letter, just a normal letter, to
Yeah.
say I'm vulnerable and you know, I've suffered from all this and that.
Yeah.
And there was a cease. But they had a different reference on it, because when I look back on that letter, there was a different reference.
Yeah.
And this one I've got is got a totally different reference on it as well.
Oh,
So
make sure you include all of their references because they could be different accounts. Okay, so
yeah,
include
unless it's
all of
different
them.
people trying to claim different money.
Yeah,
But they
so
sold it again to somebody else.
yeah. I bet you this is what's happened. So this is the
Mm.
thing. Don't think that you ever have to use one reference number. If you've got 30, you
Yeah,
include all 30 on there. Okay,
yeah,
so
yeah.
don't worry. Yeah, put them all on one notice, Marge.
And yeah, I'm gonna, because I've got to include in there that about the letter I sent earlier on last year.
Brilliant.
I'm not sending a copy of it. They can find it themselves. Or whether I didn't, well, because I didn't know anything. I didn't send it to anyone in specific. I just sent it to the company.
Doesn't matter. You can still say to them, you've ignored my first letter,
Yeah,
like you're now in dishonor. So
yeah,
that using all those keywords, you see, for them
yeah,
to go into a panic.
yeah. And so they've made this payment plan telling me how much I got to pay them now and whatever next. I thought to myself, who do you think you are? Don't get nobody happy. I'm not scared of you.
And you're not. And this is the thing, because they can't actually do anything. They can't do anything. So yes,
Well, this is it.
well, this is what it is. So the notices are like protecting you, aren't they? So we
Yeah.
just like putting them in the place. We're changing the relationship. We're letting them know that we know, and they just tend to back off. So what we've had this week, we've had another letter saying that they no longer want to deal with us, and it's been handed back to the original client. So
Right.
so
Yeah.
you'll
There's-
probably have that actually. You'll probably have a letter saying we no longer want to deal with it. It's been handed back. Because when they know, when they know that you
Mhm.
know, they tend to leave you alone anyway.
Yeah, is it all right to put in like because I think I found the CEO, and
Yeah.
then I've seen the chief financial officer as well. So I'm thinking of putting both of them name on it.
Well, what I would do actually is so I'd address it to the CEO and then
Mhm.
put one sentence in there saying a copy has been sent to the CFO. So put his name in there. And
Mhm.
why don't you say something like, and I suggest you give a copy to all the board of directors. You could
Yeah.
you could
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah. 'Cause
so
I don't
try
fancy
and call.
sending one. I don't fancy sending one each.
So you say give it to, well, you could send it to the CFO, but then you could say make sure you've handed this to all the board of
I'll just put the
directors.
CEO stroke CFO.
Yeah,
So if one get it, you know, one don't get
exactly.
it, the other should get it, shouldn't they?
Yeah. So what I would normally do, so if you are sending a copy to somebody else, maybe stamp it certified copy.
Mm.
So I always make sure that I always stamp. So the stamps are about £3 off Amazon, and it just says certified copy on, and you stamp every page. And you can then sign it, not put stamps on, but you can sign it and then send it to the CFO. I like doing it, Marge. You're on my page, so I
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I like to send them to others as well to let them know what I'm doing So the
Yeah, just in case, you know what I
CEO
mean, that maybe that person is away and on the time when they're supposed to get it, but the other one might be there, you know.
I like to
The
do that.
CFO was on, I think the CFO was on Company House, but the CEO wasn't on there.
No, it's not on there.
Mm.
Oh, well, sometimes. So this is the thing. Sometimes they have these high positions, but they're not
Yeah,
even
because
a director, not even a director, which
yeah,
is
because then what? Yeah, what's it, you know, you go on there and you see about 4 or 5 people that's director, and
yeah,
nobody's
yeah,
saying they're CEO or CFO.
yeah.
You know,
So the ones that
I
usually
was thinking of sending, I'm writing all of them name on it.
well, the shareholders are usually hidden, aren't they? So they're the ones that are getting all of the bonuses and all,
Director.
they're the
Yeah,
ones that are hidden in the background. Um,
yeah. Well, yeah. So anyway, I'm gonna send it to
well, Marge, I'm so proud of you. You are doing amazing. Like just when you said, "Oh,
I haven't finished them yet. I'm still working on them.
well, how do you think?" You know, when I was writing these notices, my first notice took 4 weeks. Can you?
Yeah, no, you said, yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
it takes
I'm
time.
still really going through it all and you know putting relevant bits in and taking relevant bits out or whatever.
You're doing amazing,
So
Marge. Well done.
yeah, I'm still
Honestly, I'm
working on it.
so good.
Yeah.
Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
thank you. Oh, so I don't really need to get the other one then, because this
No,
is
you
all
don't.
right.
No, this is the one that you need. Yeah. So this is
Okay,
um
cool.
as long as it's a debt collection agency or solicitors or bailiff
Yeah.
company or anything like that, yeah, you've got the right one. Yeah.
All right, then that's cool then.
All
Thanks a
right.
lot.
No problem. Thank
Yes.
you.
And
Rebecca, you got your hand up. Rebecca,
Yeah, I'm unmuted. I'm here.
hello. Are you okay?
Yeah. A few questions have been answered what I wanted to ask, but mine are just like little daft ones really, just so
No, go
I'm
on.
not sending out off wrong. Obviously because we've got to adapt the letters a bit sometimes.
Yep.
Right, what did I want to ask you? You know where you've put obviously a name to, is it Catherine Ann Newton?
Yeah.
Blah blah blah, and you've put in like brackets, you and your,
Yeah. Leave that in there. So
leave
this,
that in there. Yeah,
yeah,
right, well,
so what you're doing, you're changing the relationship. So when you have any bill or any kind of letter that comes through, they all say your account, you owe, and stuff like this. So what we're actually doing is changing the relationship. We're saying that they're you and you're actually we or sour.
Yeah.
So that's all we're doing there. We are literally changing the relationship, and that's what our notices do.
yeah, that's brilliant.
It goes in.
Right, yeah, because I just wondered. And also, is that the same for that we, us, me, and our?
Leave that in as well. Yeah, we or
Yeah.
sour has to be left in.
And what about the co/o near?
Yeah, so that's care of. So that's your address. Yeah, so we're leaving that care of, and then you'll have your first line of the address.
Yeah, so I'll
Yeah.
leave the near in as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Leave those.
Yeah, right. What else did I want to ask? Hang on, I've written a list down here. I've written that much notes today.
Yes, love these questions. No, I love these questions because these are the questions that everyone wants to know but won't ask.
All right, okay. There are also when I was reading through, because
Yeah.
I spoke to you yesterday, didn't I?
Yeah.
I've had a quick scan through of the letters. And it says where I am the man.
Yeah.
You know, and then
You need
do
woman.
I put woman? Yeah,
Yeah.
right. That's the
So
daft question out the way.
I know it's not a daft question because again, if it's council tax and you are both on the council tax, you would have the two names on there. So you
Yeah.
have your name, which is I am a woman with your name, and
Yeah.
then you have and I am a man and with his name. So no, that's a brilliant question because I'd have forgot to tell everyone to put two on the notices if you have. But yeah, it's
Yeah, I just wanted to ask because some like I said to you, this is a totally slightly different approach what I've been used to them, used prior and read
What was
prior.
it before, Rebecca?
Lots of different things like common law, universal law,
Yeah.
contract law.
Yeah.
So sometimes like
Well,
they
we use
will,
a bit of everything, aren't we?
yeah, well, I just see them as tools and you use them whatever you need to use them for, whatever fits best.
Bringing it all
Um,
in. Yeah.
but basically like some people I've spoken to and read their work, they have left a woman as a man, because in the Bible, it doesn't refer to a woman, it refers to a man.
Just refer to a man. It does.
So I don't know whether to leave or change it.
This is the thing. So there's no right or wrong way. You can use man if you want to use man. I
Yeah.
quite like being a woman, so I like to put woman in, but you use whatever
Yeah.
you want to do.
Yeah, I'm quite because I go to a group on a Friday.
Yeah.
A weight group, if you want to call it that, but basically like-minded people, and they've all like we help each other, such thing. And we've got quite a lot of we have speakers like every week.
Brilliant.
And we've had quite a lot of people what have done this for 20 plus years come and speak to us.
Yeah.
And some of them amaze me with what they do.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, a few of them have like basically said that's why I wanted to ask with that, because they've basically classed a woman still as a man.
Yeah.
Because it is in the Bible, as they use in the Bible as God's law. Yeah.
Everything's in
law.
the Bible, isn't it? Everything is in the Bible.
Yeah, and a lot of them use reference out of the Bible as well, like references and things.
Well, it's all to do with trusts as well. Everything is linked back to the Bible in trusts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why I just wanted to ask, like, we're obviously reading through and see if I needed to change anything.
Well, it's completely. If you want to leave it as a man, you leave it as a man. I don't think it matters too much.
No, I'll just change it. So I'll just put woman instead,
Yeah.
because I've seen it where they've written it as well, where they've put like woo man, so they'll put WO
Yeah. I've seen that.
them man.
Yeah, seen that.
So I don't know, will that be better or just change it to woman?
I always include woman, so but
Right.
you can do whatever you want. So I always do.
Yeah, there's only my name on these letters anyway. It's not my partner, and we're not married, so
Brilliant. Yeah.
that doesn't really matter. What else did I want to ask? What hasn't been mentioned? Hang on. Yeah, I think the other one was just what somebody else mentioned with the reference number at the bottom of the page, notice of true bill ref.
Yes. The reference number is going to be your account number or whatever they client reference or whatever. Yeah, whatever they. So
and then
they
obviously
find
your
it.
estoppel condition applies, and then you write your fictitious name.
Yes, that's exactly.
right.
Yeah. People
Think
that
that
only
was-
change the X's or the names or anything red. Yeah.
I think that's bearing what everybody else has mentioned. I've got to ask really, unless I come across something. I've told you I work for myself, and I literally don't get 2 minutes break.
Bless you. I know you
It's
feel.
an absolute nightmare.
Bless.
I'm a beautician, and everybody who needs the nails doing, you see.
Everyone does move now.
And I'm trying to do this when I'm finishing, because I sometimes don't finish work till like 11 o'clock at night. It's absolutely crazy.
Oh, I know it's busy at the minute, isn't it?
I think that's it really, because I've obviously speaking to you through email. I don't know who I'm speaking to, if it's you, Emma, or someone else.
No, it's someone else. Through well,
That's
it's
why I said I feel a bit rude, because I don't know who I'm speaking to.
it's a bit of both. So yeah, so you were having a bit of both. A bit of someone else.
I think that's it really, unless I come across something else.
Yeah, if you do, put it in the chat anyway, or just speak up in a bit. Don't worry. There's no rush. We'll cover everything.
Yeah, brill.
All right. Thank you, Rebecca.
Oh yeah, one last thing.
Yeah.
You know where you sign, well, you autograph the document. Where do you autograph it? At end of the notice, or is there? I've not got to this bit yet because I keep reading through certain things. Or is it without ill will? And after that, do you sign it there on the right hand side?
Yeah. So you sign it on the right hand side, but make sure you go through the writing. Okay, so you're not just doing it in that blank space. I mean, you can for part of it, but then make sure your autograph goes through that. Okay, do you know what I mean? Am I making sense there or not?
No, not really. I've not seen that.
It's usually the last but one page.
Yeah, where it says by, obviously,
Yeah.
then your name,
And then there's
authorised representation.
Yeah. So normally, if it was a letter, it'd say yours sincerely or whatever, and then you'd normally sign in the gap, wouldn't you? The space that's been left. Whereas we are signing in the space on the right hand side, but we're going to continue the signature to go through all of that writing.
So you're writing through basically what you've typed,
Yeah.
authorised representation.
Yeah. That's
Do you
exactly.
have a sample letter, what you
Yes.
could send us via email, just so I can see it?
Yeah. So I did actually send out. I sent out an email explaining this. So yeah, we'll add that to the thing that we send out. So don't worry there.
Yeah, it's just a visual, because I'm a bit like, if
No, it makes
I'm
sense.
very insight learner, you know, I have to see it to see
Yeah,
it.
me too. Yeah, I'm exactly the same, Rebecca. I think we all are. Don't worry.
It's castatic learners apparently, because I've done my teacher's training.
It's a what?
So you oh god, I can't say it now. Castatic learner.
Oh, okay. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
So I need to
TikTok.
see it. I need to see it, or I can actually listen to it.
Yeah,
Not
same.
necessarily read it. I'm better to learn, like pick it up straight away when I'm watching or listening.
I'm saying, I
Yeah.
don't know if you've had time to read the notice I sent to Engage, but like basically I just read loads of different people's like approaches.
Yeah.
And picked out little bits what I thought were
We're worth
valid.
It was brilliant. I saw it. Well done. You're amazing with what you were sending. No, that's so good.
And then I just thought, right, let's put it in thingy, but it's obviously trying, because I'm not, well, they label me dyslexic, but I know it's not a disability, it's just a learning preference. But anyway, you know, things like this sometimes can overwhelm me. So if I can see it like visually and just see people's, what, not to copy, because I don't like doing that, but you know, to like just read it and understand it.
Yeah, we're paraphrasing and we're taking what we need. Don't forget, it's like case law, contract law and stuff like that. We're all using the same stuff, but in a way in which it's benefiting us. So that's what we're doing. That's all part of it.
No, but I think that's it, what I've written down, what I've had a chance to have a quick scan through.
Okay, so we'll send you all the sign through the autograph to show you the visual. Okay, we'll
Yeah,
do
it's just so I can see it. I probably understand what you're saying and think, oh,
we all need to do that.
yeah.
Thank you, Rebecca. Thank you so much.
Right, thank you.
All right, take care.
Bye.
Bye. Right, Joanna.
Hello.
Hello, you okay?
Yeah, I've got a bit of a sore throat, so I'm going to be really quick. So last week, basically Claire was asking about a speeding ticket, and she was saying, should I send a notice to CPS and the courts, like the magistrates' courts? And you were saying yes. I didn't do that. Mine went directly to the police guy that sent the first letter. So should I put them both on notice as well?
No, I'd send them a copy of what you sent and stamp it certified copy.
Send a copy. Right, okay, that's fine.
So do you know the scanned copy that you've taken?
Yeah.
Print that off twice.
Yeah.
And just get a certified stamp. So it's about £3 off Amazon. Just stamp every page. And get him to sign where we just said, photographed by on the right hand side in blue, and just send them off so they're just aware of the copies. That's all, Joanna. You don't need to get them on notice, just so they're well aware of it.
Right, that's fine. The second thing is, last week we was talking about direct debits and reclaiming and stuff. Can you just explain to me, so Shell, I'm not with them anymore. They're the ones that are trying to get money out of us, and basically I cancelled my direct debits back in July. They actually took more money out in the July, which I wasn't aware of. What do I do and how do I get that back?
So you can actually go on chat, and then it's been taken. Tell them it's been taken without your consent. It's been taken.
Shell, what Shell, or my bank?
On the bank. So
on my bank, right?
Yes. So go on the chat on your bank. What you need to say is that direct debit was taken in error. I would actually take more than 1 month. But what they will try and say to you is,
Yeah.
okay, so July 2022, £400, for example, they try and just give you a reclaim for one.
Yeah.
So you actually need to say no, all of them. So you're going to have to list every single one that you want to claim back. So
Right, okay.
what I found, if I wanted money straight away,
Yeah.
if it was under 12 months, I'd very likely get it back. If it was more than a year, you'd be referred to another department, and they all said no for me.
Yeah.
Okay, so whatever you feel like you need to do. So I'd practice with some ones that I wasn't really that interested in getting back, just so I could like practice.
Yeah.
Don't forget, I was doing this last July. So July 2021, I was practicing getting direct debit reclaims back. I'm still getting them back now.
Yeah.
What I tend to do, and you can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
I always go under the 1 year, maybe 10 months.
Yeah.
And it's usually put back in my bank, usually, not always,
Yeah.
within 2 hours. If they do say it's gone to another department, don't worry too much. Some people get rejected for it, yes.
Yeah.
But I've had it go to another department and being paid twice. One with Barclays to another department, then they paid it me, and one from Co-op Bank, they then paid it me. Okay, so it doesn't have to be in the same day. They may need to have a look at it.
Right, when you say going to another department in the actual like bank in a different like,
So
right,
what they'll
okay.
say to you, okay, we've forwarded that on to the direct debit reclaims team that are going to investigate. That's what they'll normally say.
Would that happen to be would I be able to do that with the energy companies, because both of mine went out of business?
Yeah, of course you can. You can do
Right.
it. You can do it for whatever you want. So what I've claimed back, I claimed council tax back.
Yeah.
I claimed my car finance back with Barclays and Co-op Bank.
Yeah.
I claimed back water bills.
Yeah.
I claimed back Sky Mobile, and
Yeah.
I did that on 2 banks as well. What else did I claim back? There was another one. I've literally been doing it every now and again, and so some banks say they only do 2 a year,
Right.
but I've not actually known that. They're still doing it for me. I do give it a break and then go for it again. So like, I'll give it a few weeks and then have another go, because we can keep doing this, you see.
So, but it's just in one bank. So do I just literally, like my bank, it's just one bank that it's all coming out of?
It doesn't matter.
Right, I can just give it a go then.
Yeah, just give it a go. Maybe
So you go on there. So you go on their chat and you just basically say this has been taken in error, and they say, right, okay, give us like some details and stuff. What kind of conversations do they have?
So what you want to do, so which one will you be going for first?
I'll go for Shell, because they're annoying me.
So what you want to say, what I would say to them is that you had a different provider, and I know they're not providers, right? But don't forget, we're playing them at their own game.
Yeah.
So you say you paid the final bill. I don't know, for example, if I'm trying to claim for Shell now and I've paid all year,
Yeah.
I will say I changed the provider in Jan 2022, so I'm claiming for 10 months. That's what I would say. And so I'll say I paid. They'll say, when did you pay the final bill? Well, the final bill could have actually been paid by your partner with his debit card on another account. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
So they never ever do. When they say we're going to investigate, they don't investigate anything at all. It's all rubbish. And they say they're going to go to them to look into it, which is a load of rubbish again, because they've paid me, and if they'd have gone back to them, they'd have known that like none of it was real. But anyway, so do it that way. So it's been paid in error. They've taken the direct debits without your consent. Keep it short and sweet, Joanna. So don't ever talk yourself out of it.
Yeah.
You don't. When they ask you questions, it's either yes, no, or if they say they can take legal proceedings against you, you say I should be seeking legal advice against them. I mean, there's so much in which you want to reflect back on them. Okay, so don't talk yourself out of it. But simple as that. You want to say that you paid the final bill, you've just done an audit on the account. you want your money, because they might say to you, what do you want to do? What do you want us to do today? And you say, I want my money back in my account today. That simple, really.
Right, okay.
You just do
So-
everything with love and with, like, you know, intention. You want that money back in your account.
Oh yeah, no, I do. They're annoying me, so I definitely do them.
Leave it back in your account.
Right, that's it. I'm going to sign off because I've got a sore throat and I'm not feeling good. But thank you for tonight. I appreciate it.
No problem, Joanna. Thanks a lot.
I'll see you later. Bye, guys.
Yeah, bye. Hi, Claire. You next.
Oh, hi, Emma. Thank you so much for doing these and for everything. It's amazing.
Oh, bless you. No problem at all.
So yeah, I've got a few things. I'll be as quick as I can. And there's one simple one that I just thought from what Joanna was saying.
Yes.
I've got a utility supplier that went bust years back. Could I, do you know anyone that does? I know I could, you can do anything, right? But yeah, if you were to ring the bank, and because I haven't got a chat, I don't use any of this app bullshit. So HSBC's one of my two banks and they don't have any chat. So I don't really want to call them up, and I'm definitely not getting an app. But either way,
I actually called Co-op Bank and it was easier to get the money than it was through the chat.
that's cool. Yeah, the question was, could I go, oh, by the way, this payment that was taken for 1 year, 5 years ago was in error?
Yep.
Is there how far can you go back with the
It's unlimited. There's no date on it, so there's no cut-off. You can go far back as you want. Although when I was trying to get 13 years, I had no chance of getting that. But yeah.
fair play for trying?
Worth a try. You've got to try. So this is the thing. You'll probably do that. Come back to us next week and go, well, I got it. And then we'll go, how did you do that? And then you'll explain to us and then we go and do it.
Yeah, maybe not next week, but maybe next month.
So we were through
I'm still learning. You can't do it. I know the direct debit guarantee is a special thing with its
Yes.
own legalese according to it, but with standing orders, if you find that it was for the same genuine reason, is there any way that you can claim those back? Do you know?
And so this is another thing. So as well, the same with, you know, if you used to pay a bailiff, if they've clamped your car and they've turned up, if they forced you to pay, right, you can actually claim that money back as well and get that back in your account, because you can say that under duress you was forced to pay it. So any kind of payment we can get back. It's just easy with the direct debit indemnity, that's all.
Yeah. No, yeah, they've got to do it in
Yeah, so we've actually we've been able to get payments back. Loans have taken the payments and we've just called them and got those back. So yeah.
No, yeah, I was thinking more like you know, a few years worth of like a certain amount every month on a standing order.
Well,
rather than a
That's, that's what I do now. So I'm doing it with the direct debits. I'll go and get this £700 and I literally have it within 2 hours back in the account.
And they've never took it out of your back
No.
out again.
No, not at all, because the direct debits are cancelled. They can take it out again if you haven't cancelled your direct debits. They can take whatever they want out of your bank if you've still got the direct debits set up.
I know, it's like help yourself.
Yeah.
No,
It helps. But by us having a direct debit, we're going, oh, help yourself. So it's our fault more than it is. Do you know what I mean? We've got to cancel the direct debit and say no more. We're done.
mental, isn't it?
It's-
Okay, so I've got some, thank you so much. So I've got some specific stuff. So because for me, if I really believe in what I'm sending out, I've got a lot more higher frequency vibe that I'm sending with it. So I'm on the certificate of service.
Yeah.
I've looked up this stuff. So you've got as per section 196 blah of the Law on Property Act 1925 provides that, and then there's a quote. So the first question is, the Law and Property Act, if you go to the very beginning of it, it says it's an act to consolidate the enactments relating to conveyancing and the law of property in England and Wales. Because you could say, you know, properties like your money or your child or your dog or whatever, but it seems specifically to like houses. And I've heard quite a few people talk about this Law of Property Act, and I know, you know, the law, it just depends how well you argue it if you have to get to court, really, isn't it? So I was just a bit confused because it doesn't seem directly relevant.
Well, it doesn't seem relevant, but when you look into the all of that, so when someone did query this, and when I looked into the property law, which you can go and search for this,
I did, yeah.
nothing actually. So the only thing to did apply to it was that one. And so I've seen this a few times show up, and each time it's always come back to this one. So I mean, if you're not sure about it, you're going to have to do more research. For me, it's what I found every time. So when I was doing my research, because I wouldn't use anything that I wasn't sure about, and all my notes that were taken at the very beginning, when someone has queried it and I've gone back to my notes, I've gone, yeah, it was exactly what I have put in there. So, but if you're not sure about it, please go and do your research.
No, well, I did, and that's why I'm here, because I know you can put like ... if you do the thing, because the quote you've got, any notice required or authorised by this act to be served shall also be sufficiently served if it is sent by post in a registered letter or recorded delivery by virtue of section 1 of the Recorded Delivery Service Act 1962, close quote. So that's not an accurate quote, because you can't quote a 1962 act.
No.
It's from a 1925 act. And then if you go to the actual bit of section 1964, it says, any notice required or authorised by this act to be served shall also be sufficiently served if it is sent by post in a registered letter addressed to the lessee, lessor, mortgagee, mortgagor, or other person to be served. So other person, it does kind of cover it. So, and for me, maybe I'm just analysing it too much, because I think there's so much good information in all your notices, but I'm just trying to digest it into one that I'm just like, this is absolutely bang on. And I'm not saying it's not, I just mean, you know, like for each individual that's sending it out,
No, definitely.
I want to have the same vibe that you have sending it out. So I'm just like, oh, I just kind of got to tweak it a bit. So I might just put ... because it's not really quoting the exact, it's kind of quoting.
So yes, so you do. So you do that. So, I mean, you've noticed we've got ... in all of our notices. You'll see them throughout everywhere. So yeah, add in the ... if you feel you need to do that. But don't forget, so we are just giving you like what we have used. You can go and make these better. I know that you can. So what I've done my best to get them to that level. If you can take them to the next level, amazing. Please let us know if you do.
It's not even like it's better. It's just like sometimes
No, so this is what we've got to do. So don't forget, my notices were shocking at the very beginning. And the more I've learned, and then the more I figured out the certificate of service, and the more then I was digging into, like, you know, going further into the, you know, equity law and so on, and figuring out the property and all of that. Yes, it's not my forte, but at the same time, I was like, wow, okay, so this is how we, you know, serve them through the post. If I do notice adding all of these quotes, but not the quotes. But yeah, if you can make them better, do it. But as we say, we're not saying that our way is the only way to do it, and it's not the right way. So we are not trying to, you know, give you the exact, we're not saying this is 100%. We're saying this is our best, this is what we've figured out, and there's nothing really out there other than what we providing. So yeah.
No, it's brilliant. It's really helpful to have a template to work with. And I think the more each of us adds our own little bits, it's
of course. And this is why I say, so the notices that you get, you're going to have to change them for your circumstances. You're going to add them in, you're going to make changes and so on. I mean, this is, so the notices and templates that I was starting with, I'd probably throw like 5 different templates together, and then I'd be looking in the green book, and then I'd be adding in contract law, and I would literally be pulling everything from everywhere.
Yeah.
And so this is the thing, you're not going to have one person that's going to be able to cover absolutely everything. And that's why we've got to share it, and we've got to, like, you know, improve and get better and so on. So yeah, it's.
So the one I'm starting with is the gas and electricity, no smart meters template.
Yeah.
And this is just my opinion, but there's a lot of, it's sort of mixed up. Like there's a lot of stuff in what's under the DSAR bit.
Yeah.
That should be under the notice bit. Like, and there's like data required is twice. It's got like A to H, and then it's got data required again, and A to H is the same, but then it carries on with a lot of other questions. So obviously I can edit that out, but it's like in the DSAR bit, it is our understanding from reading Halsby's Laws of England that demanding monies by false representation is in breach of the Fraud Act 2006 section 2, yes, no. has nothing to do with the DSAR.
No,
It's a
but
great question, but
Yeah.
I'm thinking, well, that should probably go in the notice.
no, yeah, we still, you don't have to take that out though, do you? You need to leave that in. So
Yeah,
these,
but just under the, because you've done it like as a whole big 9-page thing with the DSAR and the field fee schedule and all this, that and the other at the end, which is great. So they're all going to go in the same envelope, I guess. But
Yeah.
like,
so what you
did-
tend to do, you have your DSAR on one page, don't you? Your implied rights of access on a page.
exactly, yeah.
on a page. So just separate the questions. So when you do have your final notice, just make sure those things are on their own pages.
Yeah, but also take it out of the DSAR section.
There you can put it in.
Put
Well,
it into
so
the
your
next
DSAR,
section.
so
It's
when you
not
put,
really a
if you like
DSAR,
the-
is it?
yeah, so the DSAR would be maybe the first 4 paragraphs. Then you'd go enter, 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 and take the next load of questions on the next page. And then you have your removal of implied rights of access on the next page, and then you'll have your fee schedule on the next. So
Yeah.
yeah, just make sure they're on separate pages.
No, it's just like a big data dump of sorting it all out and
Yeah, but
putting
you-
the FOI stuff where that
Yeah.
goes and whatever. And it's, yeah,
but
it's,
you need them all in there. I mean, word it however
Yes.
you want, but it's going to have to stay in there. Don't take
abs- no, absolutely. Okay, and then I just wanted to ask about the council tax template.
yeah.
On the first page, it says we stand under the jurisdiction of the common law court.
Yeah.
I'm not too sure about them. What
Look,
why
I
would
wa- I
that-
wasn't too sure about them, but yeah. So the thing is with common law court, it can be powerful. Although I have had a friend that did set up the common law court herself. She had 3. Yeah, it didn't actually work too well. But at the same time, it's good to have it in there so we can drag them into the common law court if need be. So again, it's just protection. So we're just doing that for
Have you turned it on?
Oh, everyone mute.
yeah.
Sorry. Okay, and then there was a sentence that I'm totally confused about on the second page. It says,
Claire, just unmute yourself. I've just muted, so if you just unmute yourself, sorry.
oh, sorry, thank you.
It was me.
So on the second page of the council tax notice 1, it says, I'm just really confused about this sentence. It says, Section 48 Common Law Procedure Act 1854, sign an affidavit to truth that contract is correct to the 7 Nolan principles. That doesn't make sense to me. I kind of get the gist, but it's a bit,
Oh, you'll have to send that to me. It sounds like something's missing off there. Let me have
yeah,
a look at that. You'll
doesn't
have-
it? And
Yeah.
then I just wanted, this is the last thing, on literally the line underneath that, it says Statutory Oaths Act, Section 5, signatory of truth to penalty of perjury. That's just the line. But there isn't a Statutory Oaths Act. It just doesn't exist. I looked it up. There's loads of Oaths Acts, different, like there's a whole page of about 15 of them.
Yeah, there's
This
something
oath,
missing.
this other oath. And I'm just saying it, I don't, please don't think I'm saying it to criticize you. I'm saying it because
Oh, no,
like
not
it'd be
at
good
all.
for all of us to know what it is
No,
and which is
definitely.
the right one.
So
is
send it back to me. I'll look at my notes and I'll do a search what it was and what was.
Yeah, because it goes on with like a load of brilliant questions and the what's it, Administration of Justice Act 1970, that's totally perfectly amazingly quoted and there's all sorts of brilliant stuff. I'm not actually challenging council tax right at this minute, but I just looked at it because I thought it'd be good to, you know, get my head around
When
everything.
you get your head around it, no, this is brilliant. No,
No,
okay.
but like you said, it took you a month to do your first one, and we all learn this stuff. Like Rebecca was saying, you know, you go to local groups and you learn stuff, and it's just the more we can learn, the better. And it's just the more we stand on it and practice, the more confident we get. So yeah, thank you so much again. I'll email you with those bits.
Okay, lovely.
I'll when I've got anything drafted, I might sort of send something to you. But yeah, thank you so much, Emma.
No problem. Thanks, Claire.
Yes, bye bye.
Bye. Right, Nick, you're next.
Thanks, Emma. Hello. Yeah. First of all, thank you for the really powerful conversations that you'll get us involved with. It's been an amazing journey so far, and it's very empowering. So I really do appreciate it. It's opened up new worlds and new possibilities, moving from sort of fear to love and actual power. It's a massive thing, and you know, I used to run a debt company, and I've seen what it can do. So this is bringing hope, and I like to acknowledge you for doing that, and your team. Thank you. I just wanted to get flat with the accepted for value. It seems kind of crazy that you can pay a bill with a pay-in slip, which is great, given it's a bank jury credit.
Well, it's actually a check, so that's what it is. So you're actually offsetting the bill. And it's madness, actually. I know when I first heard about it, I was like, what? You can actually, so when you send in a gyro in your check, you're actually paying them twice.
Wow.
I know.
Crazy, isn't it? Double dipping, isn't it? Double bubble they're getting. I just wanted to get flat with the stamps, because I saw there was 3 stamps on it, and I had a response that there's they're £3 stamps, but they look different colours. So what is the actual?
Yeah,
thing?
so there's only one £1 stamp on there, and the other 2 were 5p stamps. So you have a 5p on the front and a 5p on the back.
Okay, that's brilliant.
So not always can you get the pound stamps from the post office. You might have to go to a larger post office, but you can try and get a few. I always get a load of pound stamps, so I've always got them.
Would a first class stamp do though? Because isn't that more than £1 first class?
No, I think they used to be about 70p. There might be 80p now. No, they're not enough. You have to have the gold or brown £1 stamps.
Okay, no, I really appreciate you for emphasising that, because obviously it's important to have the right.
Well, this was me. So when I first did the first notices that I was sending out, I was putting a first class stamp on every page, and it was costing me a fortune. So I think I sent out two notices, 16 pages each, and it cost me like over 30 quid. And I was like, oh my life, I'm never going to be able to write and send all these notices. I soon realized that I could send 1p stamps. So yeah, I never knew.
It's funny, Joanna, though she's gone now, the one lady with the sore throat, she had challenges with Shell. I had the same. They did a direct debit that was unauthorized, and I managed to claim that back.
Oh, did you? Well done.
Yeah, I did. I just whinged to the bank, because it's like, how dare they? You know, I didn't really, but I get also that the direct debits are really, if it's still open, they can literally put the hand in your bank account and pull whatever they like out.
Yeah, they can.
Yeah, so it's a two-way thing. But if you stop your end, it sort of like seals your pocket, so they can't put your hand in your pocket type thing. So I got that.
Yeah.
I waited a year for a bill off Shell, and I actually finally got one. It was like 1,400, which I said I couldn't necessarily pay straight away.
Yeah.
And it went to Zinc. So
what Zinc?
Zinc is a debt collector, third-party debt collector, I believe.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So do I put them both on notice?
Yeah. So anything. Yeah, you need to put them both on notice. So anything from a debt collection agency, just get them on notice, and they just tend to hand it back. And the original client doesn't want to deal with you or answer any questions, so they just tend to leave you alone. That's the great thing.
Okay, then my final thing really is with acceptance for value,
Yeah.
where in the, because you've got notice 1, 2, and 3,
Yeah.
and also the certificate of service.
Yeah.
For each notice.
Yeah.
So whereabouts would you send an acceptance for A for V? Where would you put that in the chain of notices, or where?
So it depends. It's completely up to you. What I would normally do is do it after my 3 notices. So I'd normally send it once I've got them on default. So the default is the 3rd notice. So what I would normally do is send 3 notices, then an A for V, or a promissory note with a cover letter. And then I'd send 3 freedom of information to make sure that that's been accepted. Although they never answer, they never bother responding to those freedom of information. I think those freedom of information are in the loan and credit cards package.
Yeah.
So all the information is in there. Yeah, just send out those. That's when I'd normally do it, but it doesn't really matter, Nick. You can send it whenever you want. Doesn't matter. Yeah.
So you'd normally say like 3 notices.
I'd normally do 3 notices, and then
except for value, but he said that you can do it any time. But
Yeah.
also you top and tail it with the three, the Freedom of Information Act is to really.
Yeah, and again, because everything is in threes, we make sure we do the 3 FOIs. So that's basically saying to them, have you accepted it as a check? Is the account now 0? Just asking questions again that they can't answer. So they can't take you to court because they'll have to answer those questions and it's proving they're committing fraud. So they just leave you alone.
I love that.
Just
Double
leave you alone.
the
I
pink
know.
corner. Loving every minute of it. Bless you. Thank you very much indeed, for the conversation and everybody else sharing as well. I also get a lot from the sharing. So
No problem. Thank you so much, Nick. So that's the thing, when all of you guys are speaking up and sharing your experience, this is what everyone needs to hear, not necessarily what we're sharing, but all of you guys doing your bit. Right, Sandy, you're next.
Hiya, hi, how are you?
I'm good. You?
Speak to you. So I've got a couple of questions, and thank you so much. I'm really loving the knowledge share and the kind of community. I've got a little success to share, first of all, which is not to do with this, but I had cancelled my TV license over, I think 18 months ago. And funnily enough, they started, well, I actually phoned them up and they asked me for the reason for cancellation. And I just said, I don't support propaganda or paedophilia. And they said, okay, that's fine. And then they gave me a full refund. I haven't gone to the direct debit thing yet with that, but finally, then they started, literally about a year later, they started hounding me from nowhere. Yep. And all kinds of threats of fines. Of course, I just opened the letters and threw them in the bin. And now they've just written to the legal occupier. Yeah. So I think I see that as a win.
That is a win. Well done.
And then I've done my first set of notices with your Able Help. And I had sent out to Bulb, who have gone into liquidation, Bulb Energy. They had sent through after the literally harassing and hounding and all the rest of it, and the latest batch being via email. Yeah. So I sent the standard wording back through as you recommend. Yeah. And they just kept on. It's like they've gone up another level, and they said, "Thanks for getting in touch with us. But we cannot accept this. We're unable to remove your details without any valid reason. Yep. Confirm this, confirm that. We're opening a complaint." Yep. And I just sent back the same wording again. And then various people keep coming back. Yeah. So anyway,
still trying to put you into contract. So they might ask, we can't deal with this unless you give us your name, address, and account, or your postcode or something like that. Yeah. Try to put you back into another contract, you see.
Yes. Yeah. So I'm just ignoring it, obviously. Yeah. And I have actually had multiple number of, I don't know who's calling, but it's mobile numbers now that they're calling from. So there's different variations. There are 07814 numbers, and there's about 8 or 9 numbers, and I've had to keep blocking them all. Okay. So they are and because I'm doing the Energy Council tax and Thames Water simultaneously, I don't know who's who, but obviously I'm ignoring them all. But it can be, you can lose your nerve when you're getting a bit hounded. So it's really great to have the support and to know that there are other people out there doing it and feeling, empowered. So that's great. And I think your Telegram, I'm on your Telegram channel now, and I just noticed that you put a video or something about promissory notes or something like that. So these knowledge shares are really good as well, so that we can just increase our knowledge and our
what we like to do. Well, yeah, so this is the thing, we don't like to overwhelm you, and we don't like to just, because there's so much information everywhere, so we only like to really share what we find that is beneficial with what we're sharing with you. So when we started looking at all the other groups, I mean, there was everything everywhere, and we was like, okay, we wouldn't use that, we wouldn't share that. So we are very picky with what we do share. So don't expect a lot of things to be thrown into there. We will add in maybe once a week, maybe twice, if you're lucky, but we'll definitely be sharing stuff. But this is the thing, Sandy. So the first 3 months they hound you, but then, like for me now, I very rarely get any post at all. So they actually leave you alone. You get to the point where you will have, I mean, for my gas, electricity, water, I actually have no post from them at all anymore. I do with council tax, well, actually it's the electoral roll now, but I have removed myself from there or sent notices to remove myself. You will get to the point where, yes, they're going hard at you now because they're going to try and scare you to get you to get it back into a contract with them. They want you to join they will try everything. And what I mean by everything, not turning up at your door, they're going to try and intimidate you with letters. So any letters that you get, we're going to return, okay?
Yeah.
Any debt
Yeah.
collection agency letters, send it straight to me, okay? So
Yeah.
that email address that I've emailed today. Anything that
Yeah.
you need urgently, you just come back to me straight away. But trust me, there's going to be nothing other than what you're getting now. But I get what you're saying. Sometimes you can like drop into fear and you think, oh, my life, this is just too much. But trust me, it goes away. I promise you it goes away.
Oh, that's great. No, it's just how that reassurance is brilliant. And should I put a notice of trespass on my only thing is, I'm a single mom, and I like, for an example, next week I'm traveling with work for 3 days. And so I'm just afraid that one of my teenagers is going to, I'm sure they're not going to come, but you know, it's that kind of,
Yeah.
do I put a notice of trespass on the door, would you suggest?
Yeah. So what I can do is get some notices sent out to you if that's what you want. I can laminate them and send them. What I mean, you can print them if you want. I have 6 notices on my door. I literally have every note, and you don't need all 6. I just because I was just practicing and now they're on there. What you can do is have one small one which does cover everything. You don't have to go for the lot. I think I've got the law on the door, and I've got trespass as well as removal of implied rights of access. Yeah, I have everything. If they knock on my door, they get charged £100 per minute.
Okay, well, that would be brilliant, just to give me that kind of peace of mind, because you can't, teenagers have got their own minds anyway, and the rest of the time.
Yeah. What would you say?
So,
Do you want to come in?
yeah. No, that's, well, I've got nosy neighbours, so they'll be all going, oh, what's that thing on your door? Oh well. Well, that's brilliant. Thank you so much, and I'm loving this. It's at the same time as being kind of scary in some regards. It's so empowering, and it's so great with all the things that we're learning. It's just brilliant. So thank you very much.
No problem.
I'll go.
Thank you, Sandy. Thanks a lot. Hi, Yasmin. Your go. Your hand is up. You should be able to unmute yourself. Actually, I don't think I can unmute you. I can ask you
Sorry.
to.
Sorry about that.
Oh, no problem.
I started on this journey about 10 years ago, I think, when Michael Benicio had a website called Get Out of Debt Free.
Amazing.
And I did the 3-letter process with a credit card, and got it written off.
Yeah.
And I had a few other bits and pieces, one of which was Barclaycard, which I defaulted on, and I was paying, and this was in 2014.
Yeah.
And I was paying them £5 a month.
Yeah.
All this time until I think last October, when they sold it on to Lowell's.
Okay.
Debt on after all that time. They have now sold it on to another company. I haven't paid them. They've sold it on to another company, but they're still sending me letters as well. Now, is it still legal after I defaulted in 2014? Well, even though I've been paying payments to Barclaycard until last year.
It's usually written off after 6 years, isn't it? So not unless you have been paying. I mean, I was on a debt management plan for years, over 10 years, and had I have known that the debt had been written off 6 years, I'd have never bothered. What I know now, because I actually paid off my debt management plan with cash. So that gutted me when I found out. But anyway, it is what it is. What I Yeah, so you was paying Barclay card until what, last year?
Until October of last year.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, so that's why. So you are still going to be in a contract. So it'd be
Right.
6 years from that point where you stopped paying.
Right. Okay.
That's what it would be. So they're now selling that on. How many times have they sold it on?
They sold it on to Lowell's, and they have just sold it on to another company.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I was just going to return that because it's obviously a window envelope, and I was just going to return it and say,
So
no contract.
Yeah, so who have they sold it on to? So Lowell's,
Oh, I could open the letter.
oh no, don't open it. No, don't open it. You don't have
Right.
to. Not even worth reading it this time of night. You're going to be going to bed on that.
Oh no, I have opened it. I've sealed it and sellotaped it, ready to go back. You see.
Oh, okay. No, that's brilliant then. Okay, so what I would do, I would normally get them on notice. You don't have to. I mean, you've done this for 10 years. Put your lines, put your lines through, hide
Yeah.
your name and address, just send it back. But I like to get them all on notice, and then they all just hand it back to the original client. And then
Perhaps I could do that next time one comes.
yeah, do that next time. So if another letter comes, get them on notice, because you want that debt removed, really, don't you? So that's why I like to challenge them. To
Yeah, I mean, it's been a long time.
yeah, but you can do it again. You did it 10 years ago. You can do it again there.
Yes, I could do.
Right.
But yeah, the other question I was going to ask, although I paid my mortgage off,
Yeah.
Is there any way that you can get those mortgage payments back?
Well, this is what I'm doing at the moment. So I'm actually challenging my mortgage company. So I haven't paid my mortgage now for 7 months. And so I actually send the same notice, which is in the loan and credit cards package.
Right.
So you could send those 3 notices, and then what you could do is then challenge them trying to get those direct debits back. I know they say to go to court to get those back. I don't know whether you could try another way, whether you was to go to the bank and do some kind of direct debit indemnity. We all need to be trying different ways, you see, but we all need to be practicing. So what I'm doing at the minute, so I'm challenging my current mortgage provider. I actually had another mortgage provider for 15 years. So I actually paid them just under 170 grand in cash. So I am trying to get that back.
I've had 3, you see, because my house I bought it 35 years ago, so I have 3.
See, you got 3. You could practice on there.
So I mean, I know there are companies out there. There's one out there who will do it for £399, but they only get the interest back. They don't get the whole lot.
What I find with be careful with those kind of companies. We've had a lot of people come from
I'm not talking about Matrix.
oh no, someone different. Oh good, okay.
Yeah. But no. I looked at their information and thought no. But no, this was another company. I can't remember the name of it now.
Well, it might be worth it, don't you think? Oh, I'd actually.
Well, I think so. Yes.
You'd have to email me, Yasmin. Let me know who it is, because I could find out what they're doing, which might be useful, doing it on the one side. And
okay. I've got their email somewhere. I could.
That'd be brilliant.
Yeah.
So
that. Yeah.
It's what I'll do. So I'm challenging my current mortgage provider. If they can help me get all the interest back from the last 15 years that I've had, almost 16 years, yeah, that'd be amazing.
I mean, £399 is not an awful lot to pay.
No, I'd pay £400 to get all the interest back.
I thought about it, and I have spoken to them on the phone, and they did seem they seem very efficient, very good. So that was something I was thinking about going for. But if I could get the whole lot back.
Yeah, well, so this is what I'm trying to do. So I think I may have to go to court, challenge it that way. Yeah, maybe. I mean, we don't. Yeah, I'm figuring that at the moment. I can't wait to share all that with you, though.
Right. So in the meantime, do I have to buy your other package for whatever it is?
So which
debt collecting one. I bought the gas and electricity one, even though I've only got electricity because I don't actually pay for my water because I've got several water mains.
That's amazing. What have you got, your own like lake in the garden?
No, but when I bought the house 2 years ago, I had no idea there were 5 water mains into the house.
Oh wow.
So I only pay £12 a month, and I think, well, I'm not really going with a hot tub and all sorts of things. I'm not really going to complain about that. I'm just going to leave it. It's not worth the hassle, is it?
£12 a month. Oh my life. I think
No. No, I think it's on the utility sink. That's it.
That's it. So good. No, that's so good. Okay, so yeah, so if you have got debt collection agency letters, you are gonna need the bailiff package. You need to put them on notice, especially if you don't want them turning up, and you could be bombarded with a lot of them if you are going to put them on notice.
I'm not too bothered because I'm actually a common law peace officer.
Oh yeah, so challenge them, Yasmin. If you
I'm not too bothered about it. You know, I know how to deal with a bailiff.
Well, this is the thing. For me, it's about having the kids in the house. And
I haven't got any.
Exactly. So for me, it was about protection for them, and like what Sandy said earlier on, getting the notices for teenage girls. It's more so protecting the kids. Whereas, yeah, I think if I was on my own, I'd be a nightmare. Yeah.
Yeah, and also, my house is upside down, so all my living accommodation is upstairs, which is easier because it's easy to open the window and shout at them then. And they can't get to my drive because it's up a lane round the back through electric gates, so they can only get to the front door off the road. They can't get any further. There's gates either side. So
good. Wow, Yasmin, you're protected.
5 cameras.
Like me.
Yeah, I've tried my best to be protected.
Have you? So yeah, you don't need the debt collection package if you're all right with them knocking on the door. I mean, there could be a few. Don't forget, if you are putting them on notice, you might be bombarded with quite a lot of them. When they know, they go at you. But yeah, you know where we are.
Don't you think I ought to buy that package then to put them on notice? Because
I would always recommend you put them on notice, always.
Because the letters will be different to.
Of course, they're completely different notice.
The package. So if I buy is it the debt collectors package or the bailiff package?
It's the same. It's the same. It's
okay.
Yeah, so
I'll email you with that later then.
Okay, lovely. Thank you.
Brilliant. Thank you for that.
Thanks a lot, Yasmin.
Thank you.
Thank you. Take care.
You too.
Marge, are you back? Did you have another question?
Guess not. Guess not.
Marge, did you want to?
Sorry. I was here talking to myself. Oh, shame. Yeah, so, yeah, did I hear you say at some point that what's in red on the notice is got to be staying in red?
What's that, sorry?
Did I hear you say what's in red? What's
yeah, you need to change what's in red. Yeah. So
to black.
Yeah, change it to black, but put in more details in there. Yeah.
All right. No, I just thought I heard you said don't change whatever is in red. I must be hearing things.
Oh no, definitely change that to black and put in what yes.
The other thing I wanted to ask, you know, the bits that tell you about the caps, the legal fiction capitals.
Yeah.
Because you've got letters that they're sent to you as well, innit? That's got like Mrs. with a capital M, and then your name with a capital M, and then small letters, and then so on.
Yeah.
Do you include those in it as well?
Yeah. So write it exactly how they'd write it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I've got them all. All right. So it's the subject access request. I was doing the data, so I was just trying to think whether I should put all of the possibilities of what they would be putting on the
Yeah,
envelopes.
yeah. So if you're doing a list in there, you don't need to put Mrs. or Ms. on the front of that. You just put your first name, your middle name, last name, and then you have your initials and so on. So don't include Mrs., Mr. or Miss in your
All right.
section, only in the footer. You don't need to include it in like every, you know, because it could be literally everything. So just your name, middle name and last name, and then it will be your initial last name, and then your first name, initial last name, and so on. That makes sense.
And did you say put the Mrs. in the footer bit?
And what, sorry?
What did you say about the footer?
Yeah, so the footer, so always put in there what they send the letter to, so your legal fiction. So whatever they write on the letter, that's what you have in the footer.
So it doesn't necessarily mean that they've got it all in capitals, but they've got the first letter capital and this the surname.
Write it
first letter.
exactly how they have it
All right.
on their
Okay.
letter, okay, in the footer.
All right. All right then, thanks.
No problem. Okay, Jason, your hand's up.
Yo, Emmy, all right?
Hello, yes, are you?
I'm all right. I'm good.
Good.
Me and Yasmin are the same. We're both peace officers.
I know. I think Rebecca is as well. I think Rebecca said she was a peace officer.
She is. Well, we've got them all in.
Wow, I love all the peace officers. I love this.
Good stuff. Yeah, I just wanted to ask you quickly because I got one to try out. Obviously, it was a credit card one, and it went to a debt collection agency. I sent a notice. They're on the second notice at the minute. I've had no response from them whatsoever. But then I've had like a letter come back from the credit card.
Yeah.
So should I just put the credit card company on notice?
Yeah, I'd put them on notice. Yeah, get them on notice now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've already got the debt. So just get the credit card on notice as well.
Yeah, just get them on notice now. So this is what we would recommend to do. So always make sure, so get the debt collection agency on notice, get them out the way straight away. And then the others you can do leisurely. It's more so keeping them off your front door. So get debt collection sorted. And this is why we mentioned the bailiff package in every presentation, because you can't just be like, you know, just doing everything as and when and airy-fairy. We just need to get at them, get at the debt collection agencies, get them out the way. The rest of the stuff is fine to just do as and when. I mean, don't worry too much if you miss a date. For example, sometimes I was sending notices maybe a week, 2 weeks late. But don't forget that I was going for everything at the same time. It might be easy if you've got one or two.
I'm trying to do it like one or two at a time. I'm trying not to.
Yeah, you get excited though. This is the thing, and we all tend to get the bug, and then we want to do more and get more. Yeah, I know. I get it.
I put like my council tax and all that. Well, fine. But water is being an absolute nightmare at the minute. Because I already started my water ages ago anyway.
Yeah. Oh, are they ramping it up for fear? What are they doing?
Well, it's now gone on because they've kept sending me letters and stuff, which I've returned. I should send them a invoice, to be fair.
Yeah.
Which I've got to do, but they've also sent it through, which is quite strange now because I'm finding it's a credit protection association.
Yeah.
So they're not sort of saying that they're taking on the debt, but they're saying like, the Anglian Water has written and unfortunately you haven't replied or whatever, and basically you need to pay the bill sort of thing, and you should call them.
Is it called Credit Protection?
The Credit Protection Association Limited.
Yeah, see, I'd look into these further because and I think they're just creating a new kind of fear. So they're not necessarily a debt collection agency. I think they're more so just companies that are trying to I don't know, like cause havoc, basically.
It seems a strange one.
Yeah, I wouldn't worry too much about them. At the same time, do a bit more research. I know, so with Eon, they had it was called, so they wanted to help me, said, we know you haven't been paying your bill with Eon. We want to help you. Are you having financial problems? And then they said a few other things. When I looked into it, because they was talking about debt collection and all of that. And when I looked into it, they were actually the IT company. This is the IT company and the accountants.
Yeah.
So they were lying to us. So they didn't like my notices. So I would send them a bailiff notice if I had that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. Get them on.
Get them on notice, and they'll probably come back to you and go, we've handed it back to the client anyway. Yeah.
That'll be the one. It'll be back to water again.
Probably back to the water. They'll be like, God, he's been getting nothing out of him.
But they're just not dropping it. It just seems strange. But yeah, council tax just disappeared straight away.
Well, this is what's so amazing, because I know a lot of people that struggled with council tax, whereas yeah, I never had any problems at all with council tax, nothing, to be honest. And I had 3 friends that did it a certain way and then said, Emma, I need your notices, and then they'd do mine, and then they were free of theirs.
Yeah.
So, they were.
Yeah, it's weird. That's the one you sort of sweat it over. Do you know what I mean? It's like, oh, that tail with it, go for it, bite the bullet and just do it.
Yeah, I know.
But didn't get nothing from it. I was really expecting some comeback from it, but got nothing. But and funny enough, I was expecting the water to just disappear, and that's the one that's.
They won't go away. Are you returning all their letters, Jason?
Yeah, I am. Yeah.
Yeah. No, keep doing that. Don't worry. Just keep doing that. They've got to like ramp it up a bit. They know that we're all cottoning onto it, so.
But
Yeah.
I need to send an invoice.
Yeah, send them an invoice. So you'll have what? If you've opened the letters, you'll be charging them £1,500 for every one.
Yeah.
So let's start charging them. So if they might leave you alone then, actually. So every time I've sent an invoice, that's when they've literally just, just gone, oh dear.
Because I was wondering, because I haven't sent, because this is the only one that's sort of gone the distance really and gone past the notices and stuff. So with my invoice, should I take a copy of the letters that they've sent and put it in with it, so they've got a copy that they can see what I'm charging them for?
No, I wouldn't bother doing that. Just send them the invoice. You find just what you have to do with the invoice. You have to send it 3 times.
Right.
Okay, so send the first invoice dated today, for example. Give them 7 days. They can pay 50% if they pay it within under 7 days. You're never going to get the payment, but anyway.
No.
So send that. The second one you put in final reminder on, but take out the 50% within 7 days. And the third one that you send, you can highlight, you can put it in red and have final default. And so what you could do, I mean, you could take it to small claims court if you wanted to. You're going to have to pay though to get it through. I wouldn't bother. But
No.
what they'll do, they'll just back off then. So the minute I've sent out invoices, no one wants to deal with me.
Yeah.
Because they will. So the notice that you sent, that fee schedule was activated. So yeah.
Yeah, sounds good.
I know, it's all good. So good.
Charge them more than what they're charging me for.
I love it. This is what I love about it. I love dishing out the invoices. I really do.
Well, I was gonna charge them for the water as well.
What water are you charging them for?
But for the water, obviously, that falls on my roof and goes down the gutter and goes to them.
Yeah, so people have done that. I've seen that people have done that. You should do that.
Yeah. I was just got put in a bill for my water, and it's not polluted either. It's untreated.
Yeah, I know.
So my water will just be more. My cost, obviously, for my water would just be more expensive than theirs.
Yeah, exactly. You've got the next level water, haven't you?
Yeah. All right, cool.
Thanks a lot, Jason.
All right, thanks.
Thank you. Right, Claire, you're next on the list.
Hi, Emma. I don't actually have questions. Well, apart from one question, actually.
Yeah.
Do you? I know you say you don't open any letters now. You just return to sender all of them.
Yeah.
But if you were to, would you then invoice them for what you've opened?
Oh yeah, so I'm already invoicing them just for receiving a letter. So I invoice them, and not always do I send an invoice to just everyone who's sending me letters. It's usually if I get something like serious from them. Do you know what I mean? It's only like worst case scenario will I invoice them. So for example, I have invoiced Eon. That's because they were sending me and they were adding debts to me and so on. So I was charging them £20 per day per meter. So they had a £40 charge. I did give them 7 days to collect their meters. They didn't bother. So that £40 was charged every day. And so when I sent them an invoice, it was for 15 grand. So then they just left me alone. They transferred me to Western Distribution and now it's the occupier. So that was one. I was charging social services. So when they hand delivered a letter, because I kept returning all their letters, I charged them for stepping on the drive. So unannounced visit was 5 grand. And then I'd charge them £1,500 for each letter. So £500 to receive, £500 to open and £500 to return it. And so, yeah, so that's how I'd bill them. So I literally just invoiced them just when I needed them to back off. And so now I'm ready to invoice the mortgage company. So I've asked them to remove the negative remark, which is the missed payment. They're saying there's one missed payment on there, although I've not paid for 7 months. I've given them 7 days to remove and I'm now charging them £4,000 a day. So I'll send an invoice for that. But they've not sent me any letters, to be honest. So, yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So, yeah, I just wanted to share a few things with everyone.
Oh, yes, please.
For a bit of inspiration, because I'm still learning and I've kind of got my feet in both ponds because we're trying to buy land and we want to borrow some money and say we don't want to have our credit rating completely screwed just for like the next month or two until we found the land. And, you know, and I've got my rental flats. So it's kind of, you know, the tenants aren't going to be doing what I might do at home. Yeah. In relation to CCTV and notices and all this, that and the other. So it's kind of, I've been treading quite carefully and there's 2 different situations. But anyway, I had the rental flats, I had an energy supplier and this one tenant, he's great. He's got a 3D printer and he's got an electric scooter and my electricity bill just doubled there, which is fine. And when I was paying it, I mean, yeah, he paid me a bit more and I sort of said to him, like, you know, this is the thing before, this is the thing since, and he's a really lovely guy. All my tenants are nice. I've got a nice relationship with them. But anyway, so I had like a 300 quid bill and I switched supplier in their system and I was paying and it's all fine. It was all fine. And I can't remember what happened exactly, but basically they went to debt collectors and then I was like, no, I asked you for a final bill. Can you just give me a final bill? Like, this is when I said I'm with you. This is when I've said I'm no longer with you. Give me the opening meter readings for date A, date B. And then if that concurs with mine, when I've got photos, then I'll pay it. If it doesn't, then I'll get back to you with why I don't think it concurs and blah, blah, blah. Didn't do it. Went to debt collectors again, rang them, went back again. And then I emailed them. It was just a really basic email that I just put together on like, you know, 4 o'clock in like 10 minutes, just blah, 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 blah. Can you just cease and desist? You still haven't sent me this thing, blah, 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 blah. Not heard from them and it's been a good year, and that's not even with your notices, that's just with the half-assed attempts. So it just goes to show. And then another situation, I was paying a water bill where we used to live in London with Thames Water, and I wrote to them and I said we're moving, and they kept taking the direct debits and my partner's been really ill, and so it was only 30 quid a month, so I didn't really think much about it, and it ended up, this is ridiculous, but it ended up being about 2.5 or 3 years. And then I was like, what's this, like 30 quid, really? Because I've got other bills because my flats are in London, so I've got lots of things going to Thames Water till I challenge it. So I wrote to them and I was like, well, I emailed them and I was like, look, this is the situation, da, 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 da. And so they refunded me about 800 or 900 quid, and they haven't actually written to the occupier at the flat. This is because Mark still owns it, they haven't even bothered. So you can kind of slip under the radar. So I just wanted to say that to kind of give people a bit of hope as well. And then another thing, I've got a student loan that I need to challenge, and I've posted in chat group, 26 questions to ask banks. It's been doing the rounds on Telegram groups, but they're really good questions that they don't want to answer. So I had, it was an alleged HMRC debt because my accountant forgot that I had a student loan, and I put in, this is my last tax return, which is quite a while ago now, but I was supposed to pay them a little bit of money towards a student loan, and then so they fined me for not paying that, and then they've obviously the amount that they think I should have paid, which is a couple of grand off the student loan. And so I got I think it was Equita wrote to me going, oh, we're just trying to like find if you live here, because I haven't changed my address with the student loan company for like, you know, about 15 years. And so I was like, well, that's nice. I'll just leave you that, and I'll put it in the recycling. And then I got a different one asking the same. And then they'd send on the same day in 2 separate envelopes. So we're just trying to find out if you live here. And then you need to pay your debt of whatever. And they're asking me for like the fine for not paying the student loan amount rather than the actual full amount. And then I've had some for the full amount. So in that case, nothing's happened, because I haven't confirmed, I haven't said I live here, even though I am actually on the electoral roll here, which is probably why they wrote to me here in the first place. But it's all behind the scenes, breaching the DSAR, isn't it? Or not the DSAR, sorry, breaching the GDPR. But I just wanted to say that, like, in some senses, if you don't quite have a full handle on everything that's going on, I'm not going to continue to ignore it, hence being on webinars like this, but I just wanted to say, like, nothing's actually happened. Debt Collection Agency A gave up. They're not going to come and knock on my door because they don't know, I haven't confirmed that I'm here or not. Debt Collection Agency B has gone the same way. I am going to be proactive now and deal with it. And then I just want to say one last thing. This is from, I don't know if anyone knows of Jason Noble. He does, what's it called, In One Place and Awareness Foundation and stuff like that. But he apparently has spoken directly to someone, and you know, where you're like, oh, CEO of Octopus, British Gas, this bank, whatever, if you don't blah 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 in the notice, then I'll come after you in your personal capacity. This guy went after the whatever the FCA, is it the Financial Standards Authority or the Financial Conduct Authority, whatever it was.
Yes, yeah.
Apparently, whatever it was a few years back, he knows someone that actually went after them in their kind of corporate capacity and actually made them bankrupt with stuff like what we're saying on the fee schedules. And that's why they changed from the FCA or to the FSA or vice versa, whichever one it was. So that's purely hearsay that I'm saying that, but apparently that is fact.
Yeah. So what you can
do, it is possible, basically.
Of course it is. So what you can do, so if you do get these CEOs on notice, you have invoices issued to them, what you can do is take it through small claims court. If they ignore that, so for example, you can put in for a statutory demand. So this is the route that I'll be going for the head of children's services. So she owes me just under 20 grand for everything that they did. So when I do that, she'll have 21 days to pay. If not, we can try and make her bankrupt because she's got £1 million worth of assets. So this is why we do this. So we won't stop, we will go all the way, but this is just to, and it's not about revenge, it's never about revenge. It literally is about to make them think before they go ahead and try and ruin these people's lives. And so, yeah.
I've just sent some FOIs to our council, and it was like, I said to them, like, where did you sign your oath? Show me the witnessing of your oath. What was your oath? And just stuff they're not going to answer and stuff. But yeah, it's important, because if even a few of them are made to realise, shit, we are accountable.
Yeah.
Then hopefully that will pave the way for different, better behaviour, won't it?
Yeah, exactly. Or make them think twice. Hopefully they'll go, oh shit, like they're coming after us.
And it's not even like we're being horrible, is it? It's like, just do your job.
Yeah, well, this is the whole thing. They need to think about what they're doing. They need to be mindful about what they're doing. So our intention is just to have everything with love. So yeah, they're gonna have to think twice, and we're taking these jobs worth down, creating new system. Well, we don't need a system, actually. We need to take down the system and break free, literally.
That's your name, yeah.
That's what we're trying to do, all of us. Right. Thank you so much, Claire. Right, Harry, you're next.
Thank you. Good evening.
Hi,
Really
Harry.
good webinar as
good.
again. Just a couple of things I'd like to check, please. If I can go back to I think it was the A for V, where you had the different stamps. You used the pound for discharge, and it was a 5p one,
Yes.
and on two of them.
Yeah.
Why was it 5p? And my question is, could you use a penny, or do you have to? What was the rationale behind the 5p?
So the 5p, back when I was doing all of this, that was all the information that I could find with the 5p. It doesn't have to be 5p. It's literally just same what we do on the notices. So it can be 1p, 2p, 5p.
Yeah.
The pound has to be the pound.
Yeah, the pound has to be a pound. Do you know why it has to be a pound?
I think it's more to do with the stamp duty.
That could be one answer. Another answer could be that I think it's the Royal Mint.
Yes.
It says that £1 actually discharges any debt.
So this is exactly what we do on the promissory note as well. So yeah, that would explain a lot.
Yeah. That was my understanding on that.
Okay, so we do it on the front and back of every page on the promissory note, except if for value I wasn't too sure.
Okay. I just wanted to clarify whether the 5p had significance, because I've never researched the value. I was just wondering whether it was like in the Stamp Duties Act or anything like that, and whether there was a figure, or could I just use a penny stamp?
Yeah, you can use the penny stamp.
Because it's just to make you the postmaster, is it, of the document?
Yeah, that's exactly it. And that's what we have put in the group as well. So we have got more information in the Telegram group to be able to see more on the stamps there.
Fantastic. Okay. That was the first question, please.
Yeah.
Second question was with reference to meters. On some of the Telegram groups, some of these people are charging, I think they're quite extortionate amounts to replace meters.
Same.
And I was wondering that, in your experience, when a meter has been changed, I think the only way they can get a warrant is through for a safety aspect or something. I
It's
think.
gas safety, isn't it? It's nothing to do with electricity.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's the only time that they can come for it. So I wouldn't really recommend changing your meters unless you have smart meters or obviously prepaid.
Yeah, I've got prepaid in one of the rentals which was empty for a while because a friend of mine was going to take the property, and then he couldn't move down south, and in between, I think it was Eon went, the meters are outside, and just changed them. So I was making an inquiry last week about somebody coming in and changing them. I thought, bit, especially when you can get the meters reasonably cheap through eBay or something.
Yeah, they're about, so I got mine
30-40 quid or something.
Yeah, mine was so cheap on eBay. There was 30 for each one. Yeah.
So I'm just wondering, for people that you know that have changed the meters, have they had the certificates or something from i.e. an electrician or a gas safe person as well?
Yeah, so I do have a gas certificate for mine. I know a lot of them won't actually, so they're actually charging you a lot of money but still not giving you a gas certificate.
Right. Yeah, so that's that. Yeah, I mean, this is the sad part about people when they see an opportunity, then it becomes like a business, and that's what sometimes I've found with the whole movement. These people, the intentions might start off quite good, but then it becomes a bit more of a money-making exercise, which is a real shame, and they seem to lose sight of
Well,
original reason.
£500 to take out 2 meters seems a real like rip off, to be honest. And
Well, that was my thinking as well, and that's why I thought, I wonder what people are doing in those circumstances then.
unless there's a smart meter, because don't forget they can cut you off. There's a SIM in the smart meter. They will, not will definitely, but they may cut you off. I wouldn't have thought so with the notices, to be honest, but at the same time they are harmful. You don't really those radio.
Yeah, I won't have anything to do with smart meters.
Yeah.
So
I've seen today that they are trying to pay people to have them put in now, £50.
I wonder why.
I wonder why.
Yeah.
So that's interesting in itself. But yeah, I don't feel the need to recommend people to change their meters unless it's smart meter and prepaid. If you've got normal meters, I'll just leave them in, get them on notice, and they'll just leave you alone.
So in my case with a prepaid meter, then like I said, I don't particularly want to spend 500 odd quid for 2 meters. And not be able to end up with certificates for that afterwards. What would be your recommendation?
I doubt they'd even come at you, for a gas safety. If you get them on notice, they're going to leave you alone anyway.
Right.
Usually the ones that change it and don't have any paperwork to back it up. So you're removing the implied rights of access. So you can invoice them the minute they step on your property anyway. So yeah,
I think that makes sense, actually. I like the sound of that.
You know what? I wouldn't worry too much. And you don't actually have to be qualified. Yes, gas, I get it, but you don't have to be a qualified electrician to change the meter. So you just need to be competent.
Right.
So this is the thing. So I'm sure we could all find an electrician that would be able to fit the meter. I would have thought the electricity anyway.
Yeah.
Gas.
So you don't actually even in the statutes have to have a certificate for changing either of those meters then? I mean, the gas, I would have thought you would.
Yeah. I mean, they don't give you, so even the £500 that you're paying these different groups, they won't give you a gas certificate.
Right.
But it is being changed by a gas man who's qualified.
Well, I can get a gas man to.
Well, what you
if I
could
can
do,
find.
well, you could have someone fit it, and then you could get a gas certificate from anyone, couldn't you, to do a check? We'll get someone round to do a check.
Yeah, it's funny actually. There was a guy who, well, I thought he was a friend of mine, but they apparently wanted to just change the meters. I wonder if I was much of a friend. He said, "Oh, I'll come and change it," but then you get somebody else to come and actually certify the work.
Yeah.
Because he said I can't do the work and certify it, and I thought, okay,
No, he can.
Right.
But he doesn't want to.
All right.
So this is the thing. People don't really want to put the names to anything.
Yeah, nobody wants to be accountable, do they?
No one wants to be accountable, but they're happy taking the money.
Oh yeah, it's always okay from that point of view.
Yeah, so this is the thing. I find it just, yeah, it is what it is, isn't it? And so I'm not judging them. It, like, if that's what they want to do. Yeah. Yes.
Right. Interesting. Okay. And the final one's quite an easy one, actually. Thank you. My daughter has got a student loan. Now, she's not. Oh, what's the best way? She's still in the matrix, good and proper, I think. Although I wouldn't allow her to have the jab. So she wouldn't. She was thinking about it, and I said, "Nah, I don't think you should at all." But anyway, is there a facility to settle her student loan debt via myself? So can a third party settle for somebody else?
Do you know what? I'm not sure, but I'd have a go. Why not?
Well, I think in the bills of exchange, you become an accommodation party, if I'm not mistaken. But
So I'm trying to think whether I've sent one. for something else. I don't think I have. I've always done it for whose account it is. Yeah, I don't think I have. I've never tried it that way, but we've got to try it, Harry.
I think
We've
that
got
might
to
be
try
worthwhile
it.
testing, mightn't it?
I think so.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
So, no, that'd be amazing to try. So this is the thing. Sometimes we don't have, you know, all these ways in which to practice, to be honest.
Okay, cool. Well, I'm happy to give that a try. I just
And let
thought
me
I'd
know.
ask the
So
question. Oh
let's
yeah, of course. Keep
send
you
a
posted.
promissory note, send the cover note, and then do the 3 freedom of information after.
Right. So promissory
what-
note,
Yeah, promissory note and the cover note. So the
cover
cover
note.
is in the loans and credit cards package. We've posted the promissory note video tonight in the group.
Okay.
Then send the 3 freedom of information out. What I'm trying to think though,
Actually, I should just get that package because she's always got some bloody next card or something that's.
oh yeah, do all that with that. Oh yeah.
Then because I know what these third party letters look like because I've had loads over the years myself, so I don't even have to look at her letter. And I thought, right, that's somebody chasing her for some money. So maybe I should just get that and then test these things out on them.
Out. Well, that's what we did, and we just did really well with everything.
Yeah.
But what I'm trying to think, so when you're sending that student debt, what they might say is that we have no, we don't know who you are, we have no account number and all that. I don't know whether that's what they're going to say.
Well, I might get her to authorize me to settle.
Yeah.
And I think I'll test it out that way.
So what they might do, if you get a settlement figure,
Yeah.
so get the settlement figure and do it that way. Yes, do that.
Yeah, that sort of makes sense to me.
Get the settlement figure and then do it that way, and then let us know. How exciting is this?
Cool. Okay.
Sorry.
I'm happy to give that a try.
Me too. Let me know. I've got a student debt. I need to get rid of mine.
Yeah. Okay. I've got an idea actually. Let me just go over that a little bit, and then I will advise you what feedback I've had.
Amazing. Thank you, Harry. Thanks so much.
No problems. Thank you.
Thank you. Right, Jason.
Hello. I'll just obviously listen to like you talk about Harry there. Could he not do it through some sort of like trust?
What do you mean?
So basically if they're all in a trust, so like the debt or whatever would go to the trust and he could pay off the debt via the trust.
So he'd be the trustee, she's the beneficiary, and is that what you mean?
Yeah, could he not do it that way?
Yeah, but how would he do it that way? How do you think?
Could he not do it via like a promissory note? Yeah, promissory note.
Yeah, he's going to do a promissory note. Okay, so she'd have to, so his daughter would have to put a public notice out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Saying that she will assign her dad as the trustee. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, yeah.
And then okay, and then he'd send the letter to the student loan. Well, it'd be the whoever it is, I don't know who it would be in it's going to be in Parliament, isn't it? It's going to be someone in Parliament. So then you'd put them as the holder, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
In the Parliament. Okay, so yeah, so you'd just include the letter, which is the trust letter that we shared on that Monday. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you'd do that. Yeah, it might be worth doing that, Harry.
Okay, I'm not familiar with the trust letter, I must admit. But I quite like the idea of that. I mean, all that I just thinking out from what Jason was saying, I need to get a confirmation that my daughter is happy to get me to settle, so i.e. the assignment
Yeah.
from that point of view.
Yeah.
And then I need to send them a copy of the authorization, ask them for a full and final settlement,
Yeah.
and then decide how.
Yeah.
I mean, I was thinking just to do a discharge or through a prom note. I quite
well,
like the sound of that. I think that's quite easy.
Well, that's exactly what we do. We are
Yeah.
discharging the debts, aren't we?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that sort of makes logical sense.
And then you'd put that in your freedom of information, asking them 3 times, is it the debt now discharged? And you won't hear anything from them. I don't know how we'd get it in writing though. I never have.
Or okay. I mean, I could just thinking you could use the biblical Leviticus and get them to, well, it depends on whether the problem is there's sometimes more than one way to skin the cat, isn't it? I think the easiest way is just to do the promissory note and just discharge it.
Yeah, so we don't overcomplicate it.
Yeah.
So the trust things, I think we need to keep that if we're at, like, there's no other option. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I only said that for like what you said a minute ago, in case they just won't have it, accepting it coming from him. If
Yeah.
it came from her, it'd be fine, but if it came from him, they might not.
Yeah,
Well,
accept.
well, I mean, at that stage, I would have thought that if they do not accept it, then at that stage it could be assigned to the trust, couldn't it, to settle? I would
Yeah,
have
yeah, so
thought.
Yeah.
what you could do then, so after your 3 freedom of information,
Yeah.
you could get your daughter to put you as a trustee. She's the beneficiary. Put out the public notice, which can be on YouTube for 7 days. And then what you can do is send the letter to the holder, which is who you'd have put the promissory note to, and let them know that they're now in dishonor. They've ignored a promissory note and your 4 notices, and say that the debt is now distinguished. Yeah, I think do that. Yeah, I think do that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, because they can't deny it then, can they? If
No.
it goes to the trust, it's
Yeah. Yeah, I'd do that after. Yeah, that's a really good way of doing it. Actually, I like that.
yeah. The one thing I was going to say was I've got smart meters, so what I was thinking of, obviously, like getting my own meters, getting them put in,
Yeah.
and then start sending off my notices.
Okay.
Would that be correct or not?
I sent mine off straight away. I just did notices before I removed anything.
Because I've got smart ones though, because we were saying about they could cut you off.
Yeah, but not necessarily. Not straight away. It's going to be at least 3 months before they cut you off, minimum.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not going to cut you off straight away. I mean, I know this is different, but my Sky Mobile, I was using the phone for 3 months, so they didn't cut me off for 3 months. Okay, so admin got cut off after 8 months.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, but that was a smart meter, and then that was changed the same day. So this is the thing. Don't worry too much. There's ways around everything.
Yeah, no, I just thought to getting the meters swapped out, so then it's too late. Do you know what I mean? Like but it's too late for them to react because
Of course it
I've
is.
got my notices up and everything.
Yeah.
You know, if the meters are done,
Yeah.
the time they get here and try to do anything, it's too late.
Yeah, of course it is.
Mm.
Yeah, and you've got them on notice then.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So
So you want them on notice, because apparently it's flagged when the meters are replaced. So you want to make sure that you've got them on notice in case they're straight out to you.
yeah,
At least they're well aware of your notice, maybe 2 weeks before or something.
yeah,
before you
Yeah,
get-
plus also in the notice, if you give them that a time period that if you haven't heard from them by the
Yeah.
close of business on so and so date or something, you will they will be in absolute agreement.
Yeah, of course. And this is what we do in every notice. We make sure that their silence is acquiescence. So yeah,
yeah,
they are in a contract, even ignoring our notices. We will hold them accountable no matter what.
yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
I have to plan that right. So right when the last notice goes in, the meters come out and get swapped out.
I wouldn't worry about that, Jason. I really wouldn't worry about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could put them on notice now and just have it planned to be taken out in the next 3 months.
All right, cool. I'll do that then.
Okay, so admin has got notices on their new meters outside the house, locked up padlocks. They never came back to the property because the notice is, but a small meter is remotely controlled. Yeah, so the smart meter is remotely controlled. So that's the thing. But they did send prepaid meter cards and stuff like that. But admin just returned everything.
Yeah.
Okay, so Yasmin,
Right.
have you finished, Jason? Sorry.
Yeah, no, that's fine. That's cool. That's all I want to say, yeah.
Thanks a lot, Jason.
All right, cheers.
Hi.
Bye.
Hi, just a really quick call because I know it's getting late. If you, I actually got sort of caught up in practical lawful dissent a couple of years ago, and I had a summons from Northampton Processing Centre, and the person concerned, I won't mention his name, said he'd send me a template letter and everything could be absolutely fine, which he let me down and didn't, and I did get the CCJ with Reston's solicitors. Is it possible to do something about that?
We've actually been practicing this recently.
Okay.
So we'll have to let you know how we get on with this. So we
Okay.
don't like to share anything unless we've had success. We say this over and over. So if we've had success, we'll share it. So we are in the process with it. So we'll let you know. So yeah, so we've gone through the first notice. We're trying to get it removed. This is all very new to us. But what we have done, I think we've gone for the solicitor that actually put it through. So we've sent them a promissory note as well as a cover note. We've also put the credit card on notice, and we have sent them a promissory note as well. So the company, which is actually put the CCJ through, was actually in Germany when we started.
Really?
So this is what's really odd. When you start looking into it deeper, you're a bit like, wow, okay, so the corruption is even deeper than you thought. So yeah, they're all owned by the same company. They're all the same people. For example, you've got Barclays CEO is a director of 65 different companies or something like that. It makes no sense. You can't be a director of 65 companies.
No.
When you start looking into it, there's so much there that yeah.
Sounds like proper money laundering, doesn't it, to me?
Just and this is the thing. So when you see all of that, you're like, wow, you can't literally be adding any value to those amount of companies. Being a director, I wouldn't have thought. So yeah, so this is the thing. I would I can't wait to share all this, Yasmin, actually. So we'll let you know. CCJ.
I mean, I'm not that bothered about it because obviously I don't need any credit and I don't have a mortgage, and I've got my American Express and all that sort of thing anyway, you know, and I don't really need any, well, I won't ever need any credit, but it's just the principle of it, really. It's just another quick question. Have you done anything towards our birth trusts?
No. So in what way do you mean?
Accessing them?
No. So what I like the sound of is accessing it in this way. So with what we do, so you know, distinguishing the debts and then redoing it and then so on. So there are people that do this every 2 years. So they remove everything, do it again, go again, loans and credit cards and so on. What I do like the idea of is the next level, where there's other things where you can, you know, to do with property, with cars and stuff like that. And that's not promissory notes, but there's other things that you can do. Not necessarily, is it the black card or something? I mean,
no, so I'm talking about the Sestu QV Trust.
Yeah, so this is the thing. Yes, so it's to do with the black card, I'm sure it is. So I wouldn't be interested in really ever of accessing that. I mean, I've known, well, I've not known, I've known people to tell me that they've heard that people have gone missing and stuff like that. Just doesn't interest me. I'm
Oh,
quite
right, okay.
break.
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, you can put your car under common law, and you can have a common law number plate now, and a common law driving license and passport.
Yeah, I've seen that. I've seen that about, which is
Yeah.
so good. But this is the thing to do with the cars and stuff. I'm not quite there, just because I have my young children in the car with me every day, and
Yeah.
so I don't fancy challenging the police on a day-to-day basis when I'm driving around with my kids. So I mean, it's whatever you feel like doing, which is brilliant. If I was on my own, all my life I'd be a nightmare. But yeah, they do actually keep me
Unfortunately, I lease my car, so I can't do it, which I'm really annoyed.
Well, we've actually so we tested lease car, hire car, and finance HP finance cars. So what we're doing at the moment, so we've put those in trusts and stopped all the payments on them, and so so far so good.
Right.
Yeah, on all three. So yeah, so admin has a leasing car and practicing on that too, Yasmin.
Right.
So we'll let you know how all of that goes, because yeah, why pay for a lease car when you don't have to?
Yeah. I do know that through my friend Ashley, who lives in Pennsylvania, who I know you've spoken to, she tells me that people are accessing their trusts in the States.
Are they really? Do you know what? That doesn't surprise me at all. I think we're in I mean, where we are in the UK, in England. I feel like we're in the middle of it, and everyone like completely brainwashed. I feel like we are in probably the worst places to be.
Well, I'm in Wales, so you can imagine.
Oh, bless you. Oh, yeah, I can imagine.
Well, I'm only just over the border from Shrewsbury, so, but.
Oh, are you? Oh, bless you. That's not that far from me.
No, but you can imagine.
Imagine. Well, you've got the villages, haven't you? And you've got yeah.
Well, I'm in the middle of nowhere, so I don't have any bother with anybody.
Oh, my life, this is amazing. I need to be in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, best thing I ever did.
Yeah, I need to do that on my own. Get out.
I am. Just me and the dogs.
Oh, you're so lucky. Blessed. You really are. Right. Thanks, Yasmin.
Thank you for that.
No problem. Right. Does anyone have any more questions before we go? Because this has been a late one, 11:20. I do love these Wednesday calls. So good. No, all good? Brilliant, Claire. Anyone else? I've asked a few questions. Oh, in the chat, Rebecca.
Just a quick one,
Yeah.
Regarding the the direct debit.
Yeah.
No, did you say it's easier just to call them up and do it?
Got the direct debit? Well,
yeah.
So with Cooperative Bank, yeah, it was, but they have no chat app, so I had no choice. But Barclays app, that was fine.
I'm with Barclays.
Yeah, it was easy. It's easier on the chat, trust me.
But what do you say then to how do you start it off? What do I ask for when you go on the chat?
You select, so what I normally do is type in direct debit taken in error. And so then they'll say you have to select it for maybe the first 2 or 3 questions. So it's automatic. And then what you do, once you've done those 3 questions, then they'll say, was the direct debit set up by Barclays or someone else? Well, I always say Barclays.
Yeah.
Right. And then what we do then is we then say direct debit taken in error. Direct debit's taken in error. And so that's how you start it. And they'll say, okay, what date, what amount, and who is it? So for example, if it's Eon, you have to say the exact the way it is on your bank statement. So make sure you have all the values ready to type into the chat. You can't copy and paste anything. You've got to have everything ready to go. Okay.
Right. And you type the whole lot into the chat, do you?
Yeah, so you've got to type every single one. They're going to try and just pay one and fob you off, Jason.
Right.
You need to say no all of them. So the minute they've paid you one, you've got nothing else. You're going to get nothing else out of them.
Because
Okay.
my council tax was all direct debit.
Oh yeah. So yeah. So try and get that back.
Okay.
Yeah, try and get it back because council tax was really easy for me. So what I said with my council tax, that they continued to take the direct debit, and I'd paid by debit card. That's what I said.
Yeah.
Okay, so just say I'd paid like another method.
Okay.
Keep it simple, Jason. Don't talk yourself out of it. So just have, you know,
Get stuck in.
yeah, get stuck in with them. So when they try and scare you, oh, they're going to take you know, legal action against you. You say, oh, I'll be taking legal action against them. They've
Yeah.
stolen money without my consent. They do it with love. They tend to just give it you when you do it with, like, you know, your intention is to get that money back. You'll get it. If you believe it, you'll get it.
Cool. Have you had anyone that's failed not to get it, or?
Yeah, me. Few times. But I like to practice with everything. So with my water, they only paid a few, and then I couldn't get anything else out of them, although they'd admitted that it was, you know, what I'd said was correct. What else couldn't I get back? I can't remember actually. There's another one that I couldn't get back. 2 or 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's 2 or 3. I did get, I think I've had about 6 or 7 back.
But who's that? Is that the bank that just turns it down? The bank just goes, no, sorry, it's not happening.
Yeah, and it can be anything.
Yeah.
So if they've just paid a few out to you, they won't open it back up again. So they've just gone, oh, you've had that, she'll be happy with that. That's usually what I feel, you know, the vibe from them.
So obviously if you pay every month, I mean, how far back do you go? A year, 2, 5?
Well, I've never got more than a year.
So just do a year.
So you could always go back. You could do the year and then go back in a month or so and get the rest of them back.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just for you to get what they usually do. So with Barclays, they normally drop it in your bank within 2 hours.
That quick?
Yeah, that quick.
It's not bad going, is it?
Oh, look, so admin got 14 months for Santander credit card.
Yeah, that's not bad, is it?
Yeah, that's not bad at all. Yeah, but admin got a lot of direct debit reclaims back. More than me, I think.
Admin, do mine.
Admin, do mine. We all need an admin. Right, okay.
Yeah, that was it. That was all I want to ask. So, cheers, Emma.
Thank you so much.
Right.
No problem. Is there any more questions, or are we done? Oh, so Rebecca, can we snip the barcodes off the stamps instead of folding them as they don't stick? My 1p stamps are blue, 2p are green, but does that matter? No, it doesn't matter. I wouldn't snip them off because I'm not so sure. What's this one? Oh, I can't roll up. Now I request an example of certificate of service so I can see one completed also. Yeah, I can put that in there. Let me write that down. So, and the next one was, I've closed my account with Boost over the phone, changed the meter. Can I still do the 3-letter process? Yes. Boost have passed it on to Engaged. This is not to do, not paying or changing my meter. It's before I refuse smart meters and they're going down the meter. Wasn't safe to change my prepaid meter to a smart meter. I've had my meter changed now and rang Boost. Oh, I've missed the last part. And close my accounts. I'm better doing 3-letter process and put Engage on notice, which the team are helping me with. It's Engaged is very time sensitive. Yeah, exactly that. Which of the templates on the utilities package, which ones are the best to start the 3-letter process? Okay, so start with, so you're going to have no smart meters. Okay, so you go for no smart meters and start with the first letter. Okay, that's the one you're going to need. Right, is that everything? Are we all done? Okay, so this call has been amazing again. I told you that Wednesdays are the best ones. We get to cover everything. Okay, do you put, yes, Rebecca? Copy of, yeah. No problem, Yasmin. It's out.
It's easier just to shout. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, Rebecca. Yeah,
I'm
go.
trying to think it, trying to before you go. What have I put here? Do you put the certificate of service in with your notices?
Yeah, so one for you and one in, you know.
Yeah, yeah, you keep the one. So obviously then, so the one for you,
Yeah.
are you best off like scanning it and printing it and putting it in with the notices?
What do you mean? The one for you? No, we just print off 2 certificate of services when you print off your notice. You
Yeah.
keep one and you put in one in the notice. You
So
take
the little reference number on the delivery notes, then they
Yeah.
don't need that
So
on
they-
there.
yeah, so
They don't need that on their copy.
yeah, so they'll have the written one and you're going to have the written one too, but with the barcode on. Okay, so you're going to take a small
Yeah.
barcode for your reference.
Right, I didn't know if they needed a copy of that barcode as well.
Yeah.
No.
No, just yours. So they've got a copy of the barcode on their envelope. So
Yeah.
you're gonna have yeah, Judith's gonna have the piece that's peeled off.
I think that's it then. Yeah, that's it then. So it doesn't matter about the stamps if we fold it back. 'Cause obviously
Yeah, just
mine-
fold it, yeah, just fold it right over. They are sticky, the barcodes, just fold them over. They should be sticky, mine are. So yeah,
Are you folding them so the barcode's like on back of the stamp then, or are you just?
oh no, I'm folding it on the back of the paper.
Oh, I don't know what you mean.
So I'm putting it on the corner and it's going over the other side of the paper, like the turning over.
Oh, right, I get you now.
So the barcode's on the reverse part of the page.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
Yes,
That
right.
makes sense.
Yeah, so
I
just
thought you meant. I thought you meant fold it back on itself so it's stuck to the
yeah,
back of
from
the
the edge of
stamp.
the paper, that's what I meant.
Right, get you now.
Yeah.
These are these silly questions, you see.
Well, and this is the thing, so it's more about me explaining it better. No,
Yeah. Right, that's fine then.
Yeah, you definitely have to work on that.
I just have to work on it.
Sometimes you have to proper dumb it down for us.
Not at all, all my life. No, it's about me being clearer.
Emma,
No.
brilliant call. Thank you.
Thank
Yeah,
you so
yeah.
much, everyone. It's been brilliant. Loved every minute of it, as always. Yeah, so thank you all so much. We will send the recording and the slides and so on tomorrow. So thank you for everything. Thank you for your support and all your love that we get. We're so grateful. But yeah, we'll see you. So we have Monday and Tuesday Zoom calls. If you want to join, please email us for the link. And yeah, we'll see you then. So if you are on next Wednesday's call, I'll look forward to speaking to you again then. So thanks a lot, everyone.
Thank you.
Take
Thank you.
care.
Good night.